Welcome back, Wormhole Extremists. My name is David Reed. I'm with Nicole.
Hello.
And Yvie.
Hello.
How y'all?
Good.
Yeah.
Yvie, you're a little high. Can you
Oh.
tilt your camera back just a little bit more?
How's that?
A little bit more? A little bit more?
Okay.
Perfect. There we go. Now we're all of approximate height. Hi. Good to see you guys. Missed y'all.
Rusty.
Yes,
Yeah.
missed you too.
Yeah, we
It's
took
so
some
good
weeks
to be
off
back.
because my life imploded in many dramatic ways. So I was like, right, let's take some time off for that. So
But you're okay.
Yeah, which is
But everything's good.
understandable.
yeah,
Yeah.
everything is hunky-dory as it can be. So that's just life
That's
sometimes.
good. Well, I'm
innit?
glad things are kind of sorting themselves out.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
hopefully they will stabilize ahead of the festive season.
It's always the festive season when it hits. It's almost like,
It really
Everyone's
is.
warranties are up.
yeah.
Yeah. There are things that are like that in life. It's like, oh, here we go. Tis the season for shenanigans and malarkey.
Well, the worst thing was,
Malarkey.
after everything that was going down, it was like, oh, okay, well, it can't possibly get worse than this.
Oh,
And
then,
like,
you never
and
say
my
those
nan
words. Didn't
was
Vala teach ya?
walking. Yeah, I didn't say it.
I knew it
thought
was wrong the moment I said it. The moment.
The moment my nan was walking up the stairs and she hears a psh, and I was like, she's like, Nicole, and I'm like, what? I come running, I run up and I see water coming
Oh.
down everywhere, and I was like,
Did her water
what
break?
just happened? So we
Oh,
I was like, turn off
no.
the
That was a
water.
joke.
And then it was haha. And then
Oh, did
the pipe burst and it was like, oh good, another thing.
Mhm.
So yeah, that was good. But then it was very dramatic and funny. Now I have to repaint everything because it started leaking into my room ever so slightly. And then
Oh
but
my
luckily
God,
we
your
stopped
box!
it.
You'd be like,
That's
my
Faye was
box!
here and she was like, we need to evacuate. And I
Yeah.
was like, yeah. But it was all good. So
Save the box!
yeah, literally.
That's a lot of books
honestly.
to go through and peel open again, man.
I know. Oh, and also with the painted
Oh,
edges, oh my
God.
God, it'd be over for me.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah.
Yeah, you'd be
Yeah.
done for sure.
But everything's good.
Good. Well, yesterday was my dad's 70th birthday party.
Ah,
Huzzah.
did he have a
his
good time?
birthday's- Yes, his birthday's not technically for 2 days. It was just a small gathering, so there was about 16 of us. But
Okay.
my sister and I decided to take the weight off, like hosting and catering off my mum. So we
Hosting
did
and
all of
catering.
that.
You guys went all out.
Yeah, so we did all of that yesterday. So it was a good time, but I am subsequently only running on about 7 hours sleep across 2 days. Sorry,
Got
because
it.
I had to do a lot of cooking. But anyway, I'm running on coffee. Coffee is my friend. Coffee and the love of the gate. So hopefully I won't be rambling too much today.
I am
And
making...
David's okay. David's sane.
David's good. I am yeah, everything. There's nothing really of note. Just getting ready to hit 300 on Dial the Gate, which is going to be Michael Shanks.
I noticed that.
December the
Yeah, so
8th.
Got
exciting.
Michael back.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I'm making a
Are you making a bad example as
bad
we speak?
example right now.
I was gonna
Oh,
say.
good. I actually just remembered Bad Example as
Yeah.
we were about to go live, and I
I
was
think
like,
I did the last
"Oh,
one, so
you did, yeah."
Logwatcher
I've had so
said-
much going on.
got my Jaffa cakes and coffee. Have a Stroop waffle in reserve.
Yeah.
So I got a bit of me, got a bit. I'm gonna aim coffee at Evie, and then Stroop waffle is David. So Logwatcher's eating a bit of all of us at the moment. So
Ew. Okay.
There we go. All right.
Delightfully kinky.
I'm ready. You guys ready for the bad
Oh,
example?
gosh, okay, yeah, and I
Yes,
guess we'll do
yes,
that.
ready.
If we can't guess it immediately, then yay. But if
You'll
not,
get
we'll
it.
wait. Yeah, I'll wait a few moments. Okay.
That'll
I-
be the Tolans,
Mm.
because that looks like asteroids.
I know. I think I know what it is, and it's not that.
That's right.
Oh.
But I'm gonna wait a second.
I tried to make people, but then I was like, you know what? No.
It could be like a couple of things, but
Come
like
on,
there's one
somebody
thing in
get it.
particular, and I'm waiting for
Okay,
someone to get it in the
so-
Someone
chat
get it. Yeah.
before I say my guess.
I'll make
Evie,
a wish.
do you have any idea?
The only other thing I can think of is
Anthony got it.
I'm waiting.
Oh,
I'm
I was
waiting.
literally about to say 100
Okay,
days.
is it 100 days? Yeah, I was gonna say that because
That's
it's
it.
like that's the
That's
only
not
one.
too bad, is
all
it?
the asteroids. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
definitely. You even got the big honking one
Meteors,
that's gonna
not
destroy.
asteroids.
Sorry,
That's
yeah,
right.
but you got the big honking one that's gonna destroy the gate. You know,
Exactly. And
Like,
you've got the 3 characters running for the gate
Right.
because Jack wasn't there.
yeah.
That's it.
Oh,
Yeah, it's great.
Good job, Anthony.
Thank you. Thank you,
Iceman
Anthony.
said
Very
fire
good.
reign of
Lee
100
Dieter.
days.
Yeah, fire reign.
I love that.
Also, I
Fire
think
with Michelle
Iceman
Ri-
might be new.
Yeah, that's it.
So
Yeah, Iceman, are you new?
welcome.
Iceman?
Welcome. I'm pretty sure Iceman is new.
Okay. I like the
Or
lab.
hasn't been here in so long that
Beautiful lab.
we don't recognize them
Absolutely.
It's
immediately.
entirely possible. All right, gang. Let's go ahead and I just now saw your message, Anthony. Sorry about that, buddy. Yeah, I was behind. Let's go ahead and get into our episodes this week.
Shadow Play, right?
Shadow Play and 100 Days.
Okay.
I just recently
100
rewatched
Days.
Shadow and
100
the other
Days.
guys. I wonder where the 100 Days came from. I just recently rewatched Shadow Play because we had on Doug Abrams, who
Yes, you did.
is introduced in that episode. So I didn't see this not 3 weeks ago. So
I saw it not like a couple of days ago. When I was typing out my notes.
Rewatch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3
Sharon
days
Victoria
ago.
just brought it up, and I completely forgot that it's even a thing because I'm in England, which is Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. That was a thing that happened.
Yes.
Ew.
Happy
Yeah, I had a
belated
good Thanksgiving
Thanksgiving
this past week. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Sharon
you had your
Victoria's
folks
not going to
over?
be
They're
here.
over
so-
still. Yeah, they're in the
Oh,
other
they're
room
over
right now watching
still.
us. So you
Hello,
can wave to them.
Reeds.
Yeah.
And I'll see you later, Sharon Victoria, and anybody else who's decided to go and have their Thanksgiving celebration stuff now. So go enjoy your sustenance
There
that
we
you'll be
go.
consuming.
Have
Iceman
turkey.
usually listens while working, but nothing scheduled today. Cool.
As with the other
Hello.
episodes in season 6 so far, there's no MGM Lions Roar logo at the beginning. You know what? I am going to post. Where can I post the poll? Reactions, pop out, chat, participants, community moderation.
What poll?
Yeah, I want to put in a poll. How do I insert?
You put in a
Start
poll. Did you not put in a poll?
You
for,
did last
You
time.
put in a poll for movies.
I
like
did.
Movie choices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's this poll? Is it also going to?
Is it the North Pole? Because
Yeah.
it is heading towards that time of year.
Evie, that was terrible. And I
I'm
enjoyed
curious
it.
to know how many
Surprised
episodes
that I came up with that so quickly.
are saved like Region 1 is.
Mm.
I'm the wrong person to ask.
So you want to see who has the lion and who doesn't? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, hang on here. Yes. You guys can talk amongst yourselves.
I know. I'm just watching you intently, David. It's very nice.
Well, in other news, I went to a quiz night on Friday, right?
Ooh.
And I thought it was called like the TV Hits Quiz Night. And I
Okay.
thought
Oh,
it was
no.
going to be like songs, like, music from TV shows. You had to like guess the theme song
Oh.
or something. So I was like completely mentally prepared for that, but it just turned out to be a quiz on just general TV knowledge. And I said to my friends, there was only 4 of us. I said to them, I wasn't able to watch TV as a kid growing up because my parents disallowed it, right?
Mhm.
But
Look what they
think I've
did. They
caught up-
made you fail at trivia.
I know. I think I've caught up on sort of everything I missed, kind of in spite of my parents. Like
That you
since
would have
then.
liked anyway? Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll
And
never
anyway,
know, will you?
There was
Yeah.
probably about 10 tables, and we were, I think, the smallest group. There was only 4 of us, and we came second. And I was so
Oh, lightning
proud.
does strike twice.
So we won like a voucher to the pub
Oh, very good.
that hosted the quiz.
Was Adam there?
So no, it was me and some girlfriends.
Okay.
But it was a lot of fun, and I was getting a little bit competitive. Like my other friend Brittany was filling out the quiz form like with the answers, and if I knew an answer before she did, I was literally going oh, and then like reaching over, grabbing the form from her and writing it myself because I was
That's
so
a Nicole
excited.
maneuver, Evie. That's a Nicole level
Please, you're
maneuver.
rubbing
Dear,
off
oh
on
dear.
Uh,
Excellent.
thank you for sharing
Mr.
that.
Burns. Team. Excellent.
You guys ready to go?
Excellent.
Yes.
All right. I posted the
Yes.
poll. I'm posting the poll now. Respond to it after we start because you'll see why. All right, guys.
Lockwell just said stuff happens. It's kind of different where I come from, but you get the idea.
That's
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Rewatch panel. Shadow play. Here we go. In 5, 4, 3. Welcome back to Wormhole Extremists. My name is David Reed. I'm with Nicole
Hello.
and Yvie.
Good day.
And we're watching Shadow Play, which is a return to Kelowna. Not yet named Langara.
Yes, exactly. Sorry, I just had to adjust my volume because it was blaring and it kind of scared me a little. Sorry. I wanted to bring up watch Jack in these briefing room scenes that are coming up because he's like uncharacteristically still. So he's usually fidgeting, but he's like not doing that at the moment. And the Gateworld reviewer, Mojana Kaufman, basically says that this is RDA's subtle nod to Jack's lingering trauma from Abyss, which I think is yeah.
I like that.
Also,
Interesting.
you'll see Peter DeLuise in the background. He's at the desk.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Sorry,
Yeah, there
he
he is.
usually
There he
doesn't
is.
appear. He usually doesn't appear like this early on. Like we're literally in the first minute.
Or for this long.
Yeah.
You know what still drives me nuts? They put in
What's that?
monitors into the thing behind there. To this day, I don't know why they took them out in later seasons. Why they replaced them with just
Yeah.
still images. That looks
Yeah.
so good. Why take it out? Why take it out? I have not
Yeah.
gotten a satisfactory
well,
answer from production.
Oh, really?
Nope.
Oh, I would've
They're like,
thought it
well, we
come
just
down
changed
to
things.
money
I'm
or
like,
something.
yeah, but what kind of money are we
Why?
talking about here?
Why?
Yeah, it looks so good, you know?
It's a computer. Just leave it running and let it do its thing. It can't be that hard to
Rather
plug it
than
in.
Images with fluorescent bulbs behind them of
Yeah.
different corridors, and you're simulating the computer monitors anyway. So whatever.
Exactly.
I'm over it.
So I was gonna say, like, this whole episode is kind of there's like a fascinating role reversal at play. Like after years of SG-1 kind of requesting advanced technology from races like the Asgard and the Tolan, only to be told that Earth wasn't ready, they now sort of find themselves in the opposite position with Kelowna. Like they've become what they once resented, like the advanced civilization
Yeah.
having to say no.
This isn't the first time that's happened, though, is it? Where they've had to say no?
Probably not, but
Okay.
it's sort of like, I guess, the main focus of the episode. Whereas maybe in the other episodes, it was kind of just sort of a theme in the background. I have something else to say, but quickly, there is a pineapple that you'll see in a second.
Very important.
Yeah, well, I guess Will Waring was in the... There it is.
There it is.
There it is.
Dean Stockwell, my favorite Cylon. Spoilers.
Oh, really?
I know. Yeah, he was really good.
He's incredible.
I don't know if he's my
I don't know he's my
favorite, but I think he's
Yeah.
very
He was
good.
I'm
Such
very partial to the Simons.
a piece of crap. I loved
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Little incestuous, too.
It was.
I have, if you're watching on YouTube right now with us live, I've got a poll for you all in there, so please fill it out at your convenience. Thank you.
Yes. Joe Malozzi considers this episode to be a defining episode for Jonas. He's caught between his
Yes.
past,
Mhm.
everything he left behind on Kelowna, and all the possible futures ahead of him. So this episode really lets us dig deeper into what Jonas is, especially through his relationship with his former mentor. And it's, I think, a turning point that helps us understand why Jonas made the choices he did and how those choices continue to shape who he's becoming. And I think it's kind of, I like that he's got something like in common with Tilk. Like they were both essentially branded traitors. And Jonas's journey is a little bit different from Tilk, but there is that similarity there. And, you know, both men sort of made bold choices to leave their worlds behind, knowing they'd be cold traitors, but they saw, like, I guess, the bigger truth. And
Yeah.
while Jonas is caught up in, like, the immediate pain of facing his accusers, he's
Yep.
actually walking the same path.
Yep.
So,
Mm.
Doug Abrams. We had him
Yes.
at the end. We had him on Dial the Gate a few weeks ago. He was wonderful.
we did.
What a
He
voice.
was very
Holy cow.
good. I know. So he later returns to Stargate as an Ori Prior.
Yes.
And I
With
actually
a
really
one-eye
liked
prior.
his...
I never
Yes.
realized that was him
That's him.
until
He
that
was
interview,
He's
and
under a
it
lot of
blew my
makeup.
mind.
Different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I actually found I did listen to your interview with Doug, and I really found it fascinating that he was or he is like a sought after dialect coach.
Yes, he is. Big deal.
And it all started with him mimicking like his Scottish priest's accent during Sunday service. And his coaching career has really taken him far. Like he even helped Wagner Mora, Master English for Elysium.
That's
And
right.
Wow.
that was
Yeah.
before he took on the role as Pablo Escobar in Narcos.
Yes.
So yeah.
My folks love that show. Well,
I
my
thought it
dad
was-
does.
It was a great show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it. I couldn't get enough.
Can you understand the Spanish?
Yes, although it's very confusing because obviously everyone around me is watching with subtitles, and the subtitles don't always match what they're saying.
No, that's
and they've
exactly
gotta find
right. That would drive
an
me
alternative.
nuts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, as we mentioned, this episode also stars Dean Stockwell. So, I didn't realize that he actually started as a child actor in the 40s. He starred alongside like Frank Sinatra, Katharine Hepburn.
He was a little
and
boy.
he like completely reinvented himself as a character actor.
Mm-hmm.
And he was also in Quantum Leap. And he
sure
won
was.
multiple Emmy nominations and a Golden Globe. And of course, Battlestar Galactica.
I loved him in The
and
Langoliers.
we sadly lost him at age
We sure
85
did.
Yeah.
in November 2021.
Yeah.
This is also Gillian Barber as Ambassador Draylock, and this is actually her second visit into the Stargate universe. She was in The Gamekeeper
Tell us about the world
in
outside.
season 2. Yes. And she'll actually return 2 more times as Draylock in Homecoming and Fallout.
Great meme this week, by the way.
I was going to say the meme
Oh,
was an Inception.
thank
Fantastic choice.
I want to bring this up
and-
while I can. So the
Yeah,
previous
sure.
episode, we have a limited supply of Nequadria. This episode, we have a surplus of Nequadria. The
Yes,
next
conveniently.
season, we have so much Nequadria, our planet's going to blow up. I'm just saying.
Yes, yeah, it just gets progressively worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to mention as well that Corin Nemec actually worked with Dean Stockwell in the past. Dean appeared in Corin's first film, Tucker, the Man and His Dream.
Yep.
And Corin was thrilled to work with him again on Stargate.
That's so
And
special.
We talked
he
about that
spoke
in
so
Dial the Gate
warmly
Part
of
2.
him.
Yep.
Yeah, he said that he was an amazing actor, amazing guy, and a legend in the film business. So I
Yeah.
think you can definitely see like that respect and chemistry on film.
For sure.
Yeah. Oh dear, oh dear. These classic conversations.
We know
Classic
they're going to ultimately
conversations.
use the bomb, and we can
Yeah.
see how they go in that direction. And they have a similar experience to us. You know,
They do.
it forces the Turanians and the Andaris to the negotiating table,
Yeah.
as awful as it is, which I think is interesting.
It's like looking at us at the toward the end of World War II.
Mhm.
You know, it's that kind of
Exactly.
image.
So the Clonans like claim that they're vulnerable, but then like comes the blackmail, like give us military tech or else.
Yeah.
So like they're basically threatening to use the very weapon that killed Daniel while he was saving them from themselves. So it's a little bit ironic.
Help us, or we will blow up our neighbors.
Yeah.
I can understand them doing that, you know, because they don't want to blow their neighbors up, but we're also not going to help them either. So,
Yeah, well, they just think that they've run out of they've just run out of options at this stage.
Mm.
Did we
This
ever
is
establish?
something
Did they
else.
ever establish why they're fighting? It's
Yeah,
probably
yeah,
is it
she says it.
resources? It's resources, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of just the thing with all history, isn't it? You know, everyone wants each other's stuff, which is why most wars initially started happening. Is because
Stuff
everyone was
or
like,
access to stuff.
yeah, give me the stuff.
I want both of you to jointly write a book on world history that's called Give Me the Stuff.
From an
And what
American and
happened
British
when they didn't
perspective.
give the stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can look at the British Museum and you can see all the stuff we took. So
That's true. Oh my God.
the memes, it's terrible, honestly. I laugh about it, but it's horrible.
Yes. Yes. So I think here you can really see Daniel's ethical
Mhm.
influence and Jack's like lingering anger
Yeah.
at play.
And
Mhm.
So yeah, there's like he's like torn between Daniel's wisdom and Daniel's memory.
And Jack is making the same argument that the Chancellor of Talana made to him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Are you the
that's
leader of
true.
your entire nation? You can't guarantee what you will and won't do with our tech.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny that they found themselves in this situation after what happened.
I do want to say this is an episode I don't watch much. I think I've only ever seen it 2 or 3 times.
I'm not in
Same
love with the
So-
Langaren plot. I'm just not.
No.
I'm a big fan of Corin, but I mean, I'm just not crazy about the Langaren plot. So. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I love Dean Stockwell.
Forgive me.
Yeah.
And I'm not a huge fan of the plot either, you know, but he's a tremendous
It's a very
actor.
slow plot. I understand why it's here. Like it's an important episode, but it is a very slow burning plot.
Yeah.
So there's a kind of a clever Easter egg coming up for those with sharp eyes. So there's actually a control console on the computer screen behind Jonas. It's not this one, it's sort of more behind him. It's the ancient time loop device from Windows.
Yes,
Yes,
sure
it
it
is.
is.
So the writers apparently deliberately placed it here as a clue.
Yeah.
So both episodes sort of play with our perception of reality.
Absolutely.
Like Window of Opportunity had Jack and Tilk stuck, obviously repeating the same day, while here Dr. Kieran's Nequadria poisoning has him losing grip on what's
That's
real.
true.
So they're like little breadcrumbs throughout the episode to kind of lead us to that conclusion.
Did you see what
Nick Null
Jonas
said, is
was?
this the...
Go ahead.
Sorry?
Go ahead.
No. And Nick Null said, is this the one with the twist at the end? Yes, it is. Confirmed. There you go.
Yeah.
Did you see what book Jonas was reading?
No. What was he
He
reading?
was reading the Bible.
Oh, was he? Oh, very
wow,
interesting.
Okay.
Well, it's just very cool to learn about what everyone, because obviously around I'd assume if there were other people, and in the Stargate universe, there's other
Tilk
people
read the Bible.
everywhere
He
read,
did,
who have different
yeah.
religious experiences, then you're going to want to read up
Well,
on everyone's
I
religion,
suspect
see
that
what's
they
going on.
did. Yeah, the big
Yeah.
ones.
Wow, it's still a very important text, regardless of
Significant part of your
whether
Western
you believe
culture.
in it or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, as a, if I was an alien coming to a new world and I had the ability to read the texts, I would want to read their most important religious texts because I would want to have an idea of what it is that they stand for and what drives them. Culturally.
Well, my biggest
Yeah.
thing would simply be like, I'd feel like I feel like not everyone brings it up a lot, but it comes up briefly in moments such as like when General Hammond says Godspeed, and he'd be like, "What? Why are you saying that?" You know, and
Your
then
society
that would be
operates on
how he'd-
Judeo-Christian rules.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
so
he
how would
wants
that
to.
spiral?
Yeah, he wants to assimilate
find him all.
himself to the Earth culture, so
Yeah.
that would be definitely a good way to start.
Yep. I also loved his Nintendo console.
Yeah,
behind it, or his controller. So
yeah. I always appreciate that.
back to the episode. The Resistance.
Meanwhile-
Yeah.
Raj Luthor brought up Scott Bakula
Yes.
because quantum leap, and so with that as well, that all loops back around to Stargate again.
if
because
you
we've
haven't
got
seen
another
Quantum Leap,
guest star
go
coming.
watch it. It is good.
Yeah.
I haven't seen.
That's the first
Quantum
time I
Leap.
ever
Oh, it's
I ever
so
saw him.
good.
I first saw him in Chuck, and then I went and saw Quantum Leap.
Scott Bakula?
Yeah,
Okay.
he plays Chuck's dad.
Oh, he does.
Oh.
Phenomenal. He made me
Wow.
cry on many occasions.
Scott's good. The ending for Quantum Leap, I love it and hate it. Because it was supposed to be
one of
a season finale rather than a series finale, and then it just had a postscript afterwards explaining what happened. And now the
Oh,
new one's been
damn. I hate
canceled,
that.
and it's also ended
Yeah,
similarly.
such a shame.
Yeah.
Yeah, non-military. Mm-mm.
Vaccines.
It's a funny loophole. It reminds me of the
Yeah.
other side when they were like, "Oh yeah, water is fine because we're just giving them water that happens to power all their, explosives and
Heavy
stuff."
water.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think I missed one of my comments, but yeah, Sam was offering them. I don't think she's done it yet. She was offering them vaccines. And I think they were just hoping for help on a larger scale than
Yeah.
just like microscopic organisms.
Like, we'll fight those for you. We won't fight the actual physical
Exactly.
presence in the room.
It's also kind of interesting. Morjana Kaufman also points out that Jack is the last to arrive in the gate room as the team prepares to disembark. So
Yeah.
she sort of said that this might suggest some hesitancy on Jack's part to return to the field. Also, that's repeated footage with the smoke going
Smokestack
the wrong
going
direction.
Yeah.
on one side, but the smoke going the right direction on the right side.
Yeah, I don't even know how they managed that.
It's just different elements pulled together. Someone's not paying
Yeah.
attention.
Yeah.
So this is Joel Swetow as First Minister Vallis.
Mhm.
It's his only Stargate appearance, and we later learn that Vallis gets executed before
He sure
Homecoming.
does.
And
Oof.
sci-fi fans might also spot him commanding a Krill warship in the Orville's first episode.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
I knew I
And
recognized him.
Center
yeah.
your image. You're off to one side. Okay, that's better. That's 4
So-
tables put together.
Yes, that's right. I haven't seen the Orville in a while, but now I remember what you're saying. So we know from Meridian that Jonas was like special advisor to the High Minister, but here we're dealing with the First Minister. So are these different people,
I
or did
suspect
Jonas
that
answer
exactly
to
the
this
same
person?
thing, considering the conversation that they have later. Those two words are interchangeable.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, okay. And I was going to say that he's wearing a very nice collar pin.
I was gonna say he's a very handsome man. I'm
Well,
loving the
actually-
grey beard.
Oh, it's very regal. Like it's just the bottom
Mhm.
bit. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not used to just looking at a man and going, "Ooh," because usually I have to get to know them a little bit better.
Heads of state. I
Mm.
mean, you can understand why they're magnetizing figures, because they have certain looks and certain personalities just go together.
Mm.
So
Well, I actually looked at this is how nerdy I am. I looked at kind of like the history of polo ties, because that's kind of what it's
Oh
like
my
what
God,
it sort of resembles.
Oh.
And apparently in Earth's history, particularly during the Renaissance, these were not just decorative; they were actually symbols of power and political allegiance.
these, like
Whoa.
the thing he's
It might
wearing
be
right now.
deliberate.
Okay.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
not that particular design, obviously. I couldn't find anything on that, but just the bolo tie in general.
Interesting.
Like,
Okay.
yeah.
I don't think we'll be coming to this stream today learning about bolo ties.
Well, you never know.
You never know.
That can be the one thing you learn today.
Yeah. Haven't learned much else. Thank you for that.
So Draylock became head of state at the end of
Mm.
Homecoming?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, she does. Yeah.
Because this guy gets wiped off someone's boot.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Doug Abrams had this really adorable story about his audition for this role of Hale. So he said that he walked in knowing absolutely nothing about the show and assumed he was trying out for like an alien role. So he put on this completely over the top, what he called
Oh.
alien accent,
Oh,
only to have Peter
no.
DeLuise tell him, "Sorry, we can't afford aliens that talk like that. Just use your normal voice."
That's so funny.
You know, the more I have people on, the more I get these amazing Peter DeLuise and Martin Wood and Andy Makita too, but a lot of it's Peter
Yes.
DeLuise. He's sticking in people's memories a lot.
He just brings a good comedy to the
Yes,
show that
I
you
love
need.
it too. He's like peppered throughout all of your interviews, basically.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
he sure is. And keep that look up in action.
Brilliant. Mm.
Some nice.
Dan
Jen
Ben,
for
there's
the
very-
reports from
Is
actors
that
that Orville is
Jell-O?
making season 4. Yes, that is the current rumor. I just wouldn't be
Yeah.
surprised if it's
Ooh.
Jello.
It's
Yeah, I'd
very
like to do
brightly
Jell-O.
coloured. Like, what liquids are that color?
Mhm.
Be hard to get to though, with a
Mm.
spoon, if it's in the wrong kind of beaker.
That's true. Yeah, you'd need like a very narrow spoon.
Yeah. Mm. So when you guys watch this, did you see this coming? Him being, a bit off.
No,
I didn't know what to
don't
think.
so.
Mm.
Yeah, like I did notice that he was touching his head a lot, like he was in pain, but I don't think I equated that with him having like schizophrenia.
Mm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
We
And
know
you
that
kind of
something's up.
like
Yeah.
yeah, you kind of like Jonas, you kind of side with Jonas, and you just you want you want it to be true that there is
Yeah.
Well,
you know,
sure.
this group of I guess insurgents on this
Movement.
planet.
Yeah. Hmm.
So I think these warehouse scenes were filmed at Rogers Sugar Mill in Vancouver.
Oh, so it's not a set.
A sugar mill.
I don't know if it's these scenes or if it's the ones where SG-1, like discover that it doesn't look like this. It's really old
Yeah, I would figure that
um,
this is the same place,
dilapidated.
just different set dressing.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is like super awkward. Like if you were watching this as an outsider, from like standing in the room with him behind him because he's just walked into an empty room, just
Yeah,
talking to a room
exactly.
of imaginary
Yeah.
people.
Exactly.
Or he's not talking, he's just thinking. Yeah, there's your
Yeah.
indicator right there. Something's going on.
Yeah.
My first clue was that when he was by himself and then Jonas would come in, or Jonas was with the two of them alone, Jonas's personality was completely different.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yes.
yeah, something's happening.
I will say it's well written. It's just one of those episodes that just doesn't hit as hard as you want it to.
Mm-hmm. So those are Christmas lights inside of little statues of buildings outside.
Ah.
Or a behind the scenes
Oh.
episode was made, or a behind the scenes clip was made,
I love
showing the other
that.
side of those windows. Yep.
That is just so effective though. Like, and cost effective too.
Uh-huh.
That's awesome. So I love the symbolism with Valis kind of lurking in the shadows. So he's trying to like manipulate Jonas with guilt about, his previous
Yeah.
career path. But yeah, the symbolism is great.
The sun has set on their nation.
Yeah, exactly.
They're in twilight.
I will say this is like this kind of part here is probably the thing I'm most looking forward to in this episode because I like to see the looking back on his life and his choices kind of thing. Because Jonas kind of just appears. He's like, I feel bad about Daniel. I feel bad about stuff. I've stolen some stuff. I live here now. And it's like I've always wondered what kind of conversations they're having back on his planet about him and how they're handling that. Like you can guess, but it's nice to see.
Yeah, it is nice to see. It does definitely fill in some blanks, but it's just, it's a very slow moving episode.
Yeah.
This guy's not listening.
No.
No, of course he's not.
Ugh, were, boo. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
He was disappointed
Jonas.
in you and your system.
Exactly.
Their world is all the world that they know. They haven't seen what he's seen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's basically his point. Like,
And
they're
this
just
guy's leading a
focusing
nation
on
that's
their
about
own
to fall.
small issues.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can you guys hear the dog barking outside my window?
I cannot.
Okay, good.
No.
I'm glad.
Is it
because
going
he's
going
driving
absolutely
me nuts.
ham?
Yeah, it's a
not got
corgi.
to say, okay.
So,
Oh,
yeah.
little corgi.
There's two of them.
I've actually got a relatively calm ginger in my room. But I have prepped myself with the squirty bottle of water just in case he starts making a fuss. The aptly named Mr. Squirty.
God. Mm-hmm. Right.
What you did.
Well, it's not too late. Yeah, but like, here's your country, and then there's like the universe, you know?
Mhm.
Jonas
Yeah,
has got some
exactly.
exploring to
Mhm.
do.
Oh, see, he's good people.
Yeah. Absolutely not, mate. It's funny, like you're just doing one tiny favor for this guy. It is just the reverse of what happened, kind of with the with his planet. He betrayed them to go and help Earth, and now he could betray Earth back. But he's not going to do that because he's not a silly Billy. Because
Yeah.
his people are wrong.
Well, it's like they're offering to like erase the turning point in his life.
Wipe that
know.
slate clean.
Exactly.
Mm.
So all we're thinking right now is, oh, he's suspicious that the guy's turned to the resistance.
Yes.
When actually it's
that-
like, he's concerned that he's losing his mind.
Mhm. But like after this conversation, you just don't really believe what he's saying is true.
No, we have no reason to.
No, we don't.
They're desperate. We understand that they're desperate. We understand why, but we have no reason to believe them.
But like Valis telling Jonas that Dr. Kieran like trusts him and is important to him as leverage. But
Correct.
like the two of you guys are like really important to me and I trust you both, but that doesn't mean I'd spy on either one of you
Right.
for the other. Like that's
Yeah.
just not how trust works, Valis. Like
No.
Yep.
Urius Tosh said an interesting point, which is SG-1's portrayal of the US foreign policy while off-world kind of shines in the episode. But the limits to the limits to human rights, ignoring let alone weapons sale, would thrive off-world in reality, is what they're saying. I think to a degree there could probably be
Probably.
some of that, which is what's really that's quite sad. But I like to
Yeah.
think of Stargate as a hopeful alternative to our future in the event that crazy alien stuff could happen. So,
Right
wishful
now,
thinking.
my country is sending weapons to fund one side of a war, and China is sending weapons to fund the other side of the war. So this is just what we
Yeah.
do. Look at Corin's demeanor.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
I was gonna
completely.
say, like, he's basically playing two distinct versions of
Yep.
Jonas. Like, there's
Yeah, he's so different.
he's passive and
Docile.
almost dreamlike.
Yes.
Yeah. Whereas the real Jonas is a lot more animated and engaged. So I
Yeah.
think it's like a subtle but brilliant way of differentiating the two.
Like
But
he's so
he's saying things that Jonas would say.
yeah,
Trust
this
my
is true.
people.
He just doesn't
Yeah.
he doesn't have the enthusiasm that Jonas usually has.
Yep.
No, he doesn't. He's dialed right back.
Iris Tosh said that that Stargate Universe could have portrayed the realities more poignantly.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think that would have been very interesting. Another reason why Universe being cancelled sucks.
Quite suddenly.
Yeah.
This is basically where it's like, okay, this is not gonna work. We're not gonna come to
No.
an answer.
No.
You're not gonna give us weapons, and we're not gonna give you the Nequadria. You're just gonna have to find it in, I don't know, some random box somewhere.
Yes, yes.
Dan Bent said something interesting. The thing with Stargate SG-1 is that we go to other planets looking for technology, but we wouldn't give it to other people, like depending on what it is. Like,
Yeah,
we go
we,
places and ask for weapons
true.
that we
We
don't
gave,
give them to other people.
We gave
Good
the
point.
Bursa an iris, I suspect, or some
Yeah.
means thereof. So we do it. The
Yeah.
Jaffa. But in terms of WMDs, you're right.
That's very interesting. This is a very interesting episode, actually. Now that people are like,
Mm-hmm.
in the comments are saying like, very interesting things. So it's like, oh yeah, let me look at
Yeah.
I love her vest.
Yeah.
And here the First Minister raises
Yeah, I'm a
a
fan.
great point. Okay, you want us to reveal to our enemies that there are
Yes.
aliens.
It's very rich
When you
coming from a
haven't.
planet
Yeah,
that thinks
actually.
their program hidden behind a deep space radar telemetry cover story.
Yeah.
But kind of like it's do what I say, not as I do.
Just very hypocritical,
And
aren't we?
somehow
Yeah,
the First
it
Minister
is.
knows that we haven't revealed our program to our
He
people.
does.
Spicy. I think the only big difference is that this side of this country knows, but the other country doesn't, and so it's like just two sides. While Earth is a bit more complicated because you got everybody. It's not just two sides.
It's exponential, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah, it has to admit. It has to admit it too. Yeah.
Dicey. I love the way they kind of like show the old-timey planets that are a bit behind with the
1940s.
giant fans.
Yes,
They're always like, here's
I
the
like it
giant
too.
fans.
This is because we don't have air conditioning yet.
No.
No.
Gotta aerate the room somehow. Hmm.
I
Oh,
thought
yeah,
Thomas
Thomas
had already
met-
died, but apparently Thomas is not dead.
Yeah, we met him
Yep,
in the earlier
Meridian.
episode. Meridian, yeah.
Hmm. Oof. My poor guy.
Yeah.
I must feel really lonely with all this. Jonas is like his one nice person he can go to.
Mm.
It's like he made all this up to like try and fix it all in his mind.
Yeah, so Dr. Kieran kind of like points out like a pretty massive security flaw. Like Earth could just waltz right through Colonan's unprotected Stargate into like the most secure facility. So
Yeah.
for a civilization that's worried about being attacked, they somehow missed like Stargate Security 101. Like get an
Yeah.
iris.
Oh,
Well, you first have to know that an iris will work
no.
Yeah, true.
or make some tests. But if you only
They
have one
could-
gate address, you can't call us constantly while you're making tests.
Yeah. So like this Nequadria obviously comes with so many strings attached. It's like practically a puppet show. Actually, speaking of puppets,
Wow.
like now we know, I guess, where the title Shadow Play kind of came from in
Yep.
my mind.
Yeah, that's a very fine point.
Urius Tosh said, wouldn't it be like crazy nowadays if we if SG-1 gave people phones on other planets? And then said, imagine a group chat with Shaka, like just a WhatsApp group chat. I'd love the selfies. I think you'd take a lot of selfies and do voice messages.
This is when I really began to think, okay, what's going on? You are being
Yeah.
followed this way.
Well, exactly. And you watch Jonas's weapon carefully during this like factory chase scene. So right now he appears to be holding like a regular gun, but the red light grip suggests it's like an INTAR training weapon.
Oh,
if
it
you
sure
keep your
was an
eyes
INTAR.
on it-
Look at that.
Yeah.
If you keep your eyes on it for a few seconds, when Jonas heads down another flight of stairs, the red glow completely vanishes.
Wonder what
So,
that was about.
according
Look
to
at that.
Joseph
What the
Malocci-
hell?
It's an INTAR.
Yeah,
It didn't
so
fire like an
according-
INTAR.
Well,
Yeah.
exactly. So I was going to say, so according to Joseph Malozzi, this entire scene is obviously happening in Dr. Kieran's mind. So while Jonas does carry an INTAR off-world, Kieran has never actually seen one in action.
He wouldn't have any
So
context of
in
one.
his in
Wow.
his hallucination, he's imagining the weapon working like a regular gun because that's all he knows. So the writers sort of planted this as a subtle clue that what we're watching is not quite reality.
Interesting.
Wow, that is a very interesting clue.
And he fell
Yeah.
all of, well, that's higher than I thought it was. Okay.
It's decent.
It didn't
probably
look
a
that high
four.
from.
I was like,
Yeah.
that is not high.
And somehow they convinced them to bring him back over here, you know,
Yeah.
because our medicine is better. Okay. I guess they could have
They
done it
probably
because
just
they
almost
want our
wanna-
cooperation. So
True. I think they just kind of want to wash their hands of him, kind of. Maybe he's causing more trouble than what it's worth.
Hmm.
Terrell.
Beautiful, beautiful Terrell.
Yeah.
I'm actually very excited to see her in the upcoming season of Virgin River, which
I was
is
gonna say,
in
I
2
saw-
weeks.
I saw the
River was
trailer.
over.
What?
Yeah, what?
No.
No.
They've literally renewed it for
It
another
won't-
like 2 seasons.
It won't stop, David.
Yeah.
It won't stop. Evie's going to
Canada's
keep
soap
talking
opera.
about it forever.
It's going to be 7 seasons, and it's still in the same 12-month period.
Oh, it's all happening within 1 year?
It's very slow moving, and it's funny
Wow.
because like the characters are obviously aging.
Oh, okay.
Damn.
Wow. I did not know
Oof.
this about that. Okay.
Oof. Big oof. Hmm.
We can detect it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Smart, smart.
Okay,
Let's
I do not
go.
buy this at all.
Mhm.
Yes, leave our restricted military facilities and wander our streets unaccompanied by our by any of our officers. Just let
That's
you walk
true.
around the planet.
Yeah.
Talk to our people, interact with
Just
them.
just gonna go get a coffee. You guys have
Yeah.
got really good coffee on this planet.
Don't buy it
Don't
at
mind
all.
us.
This is fake Jonas.
Yep.
Yeah, because
Yes, it's
he seems real
100%.
weird.
He's too fluid.
Yeah.
Dear oh dear.
Oppenheimer.
Hmm. That was actually such a good movie, though. Like, people said it was boring, and Oppenheimer was a
I
banger
enjoyed it.
movie.
Yeah,
I loved it.
very much.
So it's basically taken like 35 minutes of careful build up before, we reveal that Dr. Kieran's hallucinations are from schizophrenia. So I think I was listening to the Gate World podcast, and you and Darren were discussing this episode, and Darren sort of made an interesting observation. He said that this season's developing a pattern for those like methodical mystery episodes, like we saw in Nightwalkers. And the writers are really taking their time to let these stories unfold. So it is definitely a slow burn. And also
Yeah.
here, I'd love this direction where
Oh,
it
it's
pulls
so
back
good.
onto the security feed and you can
So
see that it's
good.
just him lying there alone.
This is true. Now we know.
Also, according to Doug Abrams, the boardroom maps are actually just backwards photocopies of BC road maps.
Yes. Yeah. That's what Doug said.
Yeah. That was cool.
Just wander around our planet
Yeah.
unaccompanied. It's not
He's
a
been
problem.
dumping Quadri in a box in this building, right?
He sure
And
was.
it's not even well hidden. It's kind of just in the middle of the floor. So this abandoned warehouse I think is sort of quite perfect. Like the broken machinery, gathering dust in the shadows. I think it's sort of very symbolic of Dr. Kieran's mind. Like
Yeah.
it's starting to shut down, leaving only
Yeah.
fragments and darkness.
Cobwebs in there.
I think the location scouts just really nailed the symbolism here. Also, that's a very strong Wi-Fi signal.
That's not what that is.
I wish my Wi-Fi worked that well.
Lockwatcher says this is the sugar mill. The dust just makes me want to lick the air.
Ugh.
Sugar dust.
Yeah.
Sugar
like
dust.
cotton candy. Like those cobwebs on cobwebs, that's cotton candy.
So they're going to take the Nequadri out of the boxes and put them in their packs? Is that
very heavy.
I'm guessing
See,
what happens?
they don't really go into any detail. I was going to
No.
bring that up later because they don't actually disclose whether they just took it or whether they told them before they took it. I think they just took it,
Of course they took it.
but I don't think they disclose it to anyone.
Oh, no. Yeah. And I love how they don't like check their bags before they leave.
No.
The security on this planet just makes no sense whatsoever.
So I was going to mention as well that Jonas being at the other end of the table when they started this discussion, I love how symbolic that was. So like he's like on one side of the table to his former countrymen, and I think the distance between them isn't just physical; it's like perfectly symbolizes how far Jonas has come in this short period.
Sure, he's arguing
He's
the other
like
side
literally and figuratively on the opposite side.
now. Yeah. Did you see Jonas was still carrying an Intar?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's probably seen Kieran, Kieran's probably seen Jonas wearing it.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
Nothing, darling.
So I also loved Jonas's phrasing. Like he said it's literally in their blood, they can smell it. And I think it kind of brings to mind like Jack and the Beanstalk. And I think that like Jonas knows the Goa'uld will eventually catch the scent of Naquadah. And when they do, they won't negotiate. They won't make any deals.
No, they'll hover
just
over your
take what
city
they
and
want.
just take it.
And I think the Colonians are worried about their neighbors, but they should be more concerned about what's like lurking out there. And I just really like how he's sort of painted this very terrifying fairy tale like parallel.
Well, this is really sad.
Yep.
Yeah, what actually happened to them?
They died.
So, I was going through the comments on Reddit about this episode, and one person found this episode hard to enjoy, because it's not like your typical uplifting Stargate story. And another fan had a different take on the same darkness, saying that they actually appreciated how different it felt. Like, for once, SG-1 doesn't just swoop in with a last minute solution. They can't save Dr. Kieran. They can't fix the political situation. And everyone just has to sort of accept that sometimes there aren't happy endings. And I guess the dark thought about the Colonian government is like whether they knew about the Nequadria induced schizophrenia before or after they framed Daniel. Like, they certainly know about it now, so they're still kind of clinging to the story about him being like a saboteur, even when they like desperately need Earth's help. So, they'd rather protect their lie than acknowledge what really happened. So it
Classic.
definitely says something about their priorities.
I suspect this is all new to them since Jonas has been gone.
Yeah. So, Majlana Kaufman again said that this episode served as a fascinating reverse image of Meridian. So
Yeah.
while Meridian dealt with Daniel's physical death, Shadowplay forces Jonas to confront his like mentor's mental deterioration. And at the center of both stories is Nequadria, a substance that's sort of neither good nor bad, but it looked like it could power shields and create hyperspace windows, but it also destroys planets.
Yeah, it's a power source.
And we learn it destroys minds as well. So
Feel bad for Jonas. You can feel how like heartbroken he is.
yeah.
Like, not just for him, but also his world,
So I guess it doesn't confirm that he's going to die. I guess he just goes crazy. But ultimately, I suppose he will die with time. So
Yeah.
oh boy, here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're good. The coup's in
I
place.
think
Everything's gone well, darling.
at this stage you just have to sort of just play along with it.
Yeah.
But I hope that actor like got his full paycheck, even though he was technically a figment of Dr. Kieran's imagination.
Yeah, they get paid at scale. So yeah, for sure. A day's work.
He's got so much goodness in him, and he was really trying.
Oh, I know. That's good, Professor. Yeah. Yeah. Just make him feel like he's done something worthy.
I think in the end, if this was kind of, if I was in the situation, this is the best possible. Like, I'd love to just have someone while I'm deteriorating to tell me that everything's going to be okay and like guaranteed, because it's just
of
such a nice,
course.
safe feeling.
So this episode sort of really divided Stargate fans. If you look at like IMDb, for example, there's some pretty harsh reviews. So fans sort of complained about the lack of action, minimal special effects, and they were sort of unhappy on the focus with Jonas. But like, I totally get it, because you're kind of wanting like an action-packed adventure when you watch SG-1, and this one kind of may have caught you off guard. But I think it's kind of like a fascinating episode because it's a little bit different. Like, instead of explosions and firefights, we get like this intense psychological thriller that kind of messes with your heads. And I think the stripped down style of the episode actually intentionally like helped us focus on Dr. Kieran's unraveling mental state. So I think sometimes the scariest threats are sort of, more internal.
There you go. Shadowplay, everyone.
Continuing Evie's comment there, it's also it's a very good way to save money for the big episodes where you're going to have to go big budget on those ones. So I don't mind when Stargate does this. I don't mind when it goes ahead and decides to make an episode that's a bit more naff, just because it's like there are constraints, especially with how many episodes Stargate is producing. So it's like, yeah. That's why most shows, I think, are now like only 8 episodes as well, because it's like, well, you don't have to do as much, don't have to work as long, and you can kind of like just make them 8 really juicy ones.
They're not working on syndicated blocks of TV anymore for to resell later.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy about this episode. This is I'm trying to decide if it's going to be a 2 or a 3 for me.
Yeah.
my issue with season 6 is personified with this episode, where the just the color of the show kind of changed direction and became more blasé.
Yeah.
I, see when Rick is on screen, I know in the back of my head that he's doing, 3 days a week and 1 week off per month, so that his time is very measured and limited, so that when he's on screen, I'm really looking for a lot out of him. And he's kind of just doing some transitions, doing some, a little bit of asides, contributing but he's no longer the driving force of the show. And I'm
That's
consciously aware of that in many episodes, at least. I love the guest star. I'm glad that we go back to this planet to see what's going on with them, that we are evolving that star. I'll give it a 3.
Yeah.
Next.
I think I'm also going to give it a 3. I don't think it's like, I think the performances are good. And I really, you know what? I just feel really bad for Corin. Just every time I'm watching season 6 and then with Fallout, I get really, really sad because I feel like he had so much potential and they just didn't need to get rid of him, but whatever. And I think that having
He and
an
Daniel
episode...
serve the same function.
I know.
That's
I just,
true.
what?
That's
Just
what it
share the
comes down to.
function. Share the function. But I really, it's nice to see Jonas's past explored and seeing, because he's one of the main characters now, and we go back with everybody to some degree, and we should really be going back and exploring Jonas's history as well. It's a shame that because we're 6 seasons in. And where they kind of started, it's like not as interesting as like diving into like the Jafar history for the first time, like learning about Sam's beef with her dad, stuff like that. And so it's just not as interesting, but I wish it was. And it's like, I feel like it's that kind of politics episode that's just not as interesting as the other ones. And it's an absolute shame, but I appreciate that it's there because I love Jonas and I want more of him. And so this is a 3.
Jonas and Jack are the only 2 regulars whose parents, either of their parents, we never meet.
Yeah.
Just wanted to
Didn't
bring
even
that up.
think about that.
Yeah.
Didn't even think you blew my mind a little bit there, actually. I was like, oh,
Yeah. Are you sort of saying that like Braytag fills in the role for Tilk a little bit? Oh, we did kind of see his
saw
dad.
Ronan.
his dad, yeah.
We did see his
In
dad. Yeah,
flashback.
you're totally right. I was thinking mum and dad.
Yeah.
And no. Okay. Yes. No, you're totally right. No, that's a good point. Yeah, we don't really get a lot of really early background history into those 2 characters. So I was actually also going to give this a 3 because I understand where they were going with the episode, and I do appreciate knowing a little bit more about Jonas and understanding a little bit better about his history and where he came from. And it does make his character a lot richer.
But it's all mid.
But you know what? It is mid, and the Colonan story, I feel like it's already been told. It's sort of very similar to like the Tolans, and I just feel like we've kind of gone down this road before. It just feels very familiar. It doesn't feel like we're learning anything different.
We're just on the other side of the table is all.
Yeah, exactly.
Or the argument.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like I do feel like it was a necessary episode, but it's not one that I enjoy rewatching on a regular basis.
No.
I think the performances were great, the direction was great, but yeah, it's just sort of a meh episode.
Here's the thing.
In
my opinion, the Colonans aren't that interesting.
Yeah.
Their circumstances aren't. I think the Rand and the Caledonians, when later on in the show, are much more interesting.
That's season 9, right?
But yes, the
satellite.
Then the Ori come in and give them this technology.
That was intense.
And then they take each other out with it. So.
It's kind of like that is what I was. They are essentially to me just a better version of Jonas's planet because they're like doing the same stuff, but and they even look very similar in terms of like the aesthetic and like
it's the same
time
era.
Yeah.
It's the same decade.
Maybe that was almost like the writers' do-over. They were like, let's just do a better version of the Colonials.
Yeah.
It's like their first episode sucked. Icon. And then season 9, you have that one, and you're like,
Ethan is much more interesting.
Ethan is so good. It's actually, it blew my mind. Very good.
Yeah.
But this is like, This is yeah, but this one is kind of like the meh version of that. Yeah. Not for me.
It's sort of like being given like a really lukewarm beverage when you're really thirsty and you're wanting something really hot, or like like a really average meal. It does what it needs to do. It fills you up, but it's just kind of like, it could have been better.
This one needed actual Nequadria nukes and then some prior to rock up, like that's what we needed. Like, or just a Gould, which is what's going to happen eventually to make it a bit more interesting, but yeah.
We need a prior riding a nuke that would have like taken it to a next level.
Imagine coming into this episode weeks after the war had already started. Finding out that the Tranians and the Andaris also had Nequadria, but they were using smaller ICBMs rather than like city destroying ones. And so we had some room to negotiate. They still had some time to talk, but smaller settlements were getting wiped out. I think that would have been a far more interesting episode.
Yeah.
So
would have really pushed it. So instead we get the drip of it.
Yeah, because nothing's happened yet. They're just being forced to.
Like, maybe it will.
The Senate meetings are breaking down. Ooh, the Trade Federation is occupying Naboo. Oh no!
Boring.
The taxation of trade routes. Oh, 9-year-olds love that. So sorry, I couldn't help myself.
I'm thinking about Padme standing floating in that thing in the Senate. Like, we're not going to stop this. It's a committee.
I have a vote of no confidence for you, Valorum. Get the heck out of there.
Abilities.
Get out of my Star Wars. Lisa ruining the prequels.
I was going to say, and then she leaves the bloody Jar Jar in charge, and he's like, Lisa in the middle of the bloody... Oh,
Lisa,
I can't.
give emergency powers to Darth Sidious.
Yeah.
All right, anyway.
Oh, dear.
It was mid.
That's what we needed.
That's
mid.
Great.
Anthony,
Okay,
this episode is a 4. What do we have, David? While I'm trying to do that part.
We have fan ratings.
So episode 4 from episode is a 4 from Anthony, and then we've got Anthony said Shimmer and Victoria rated the episode of 5 before she had to disappear as well. She's having Thanksgiving food, so have fun with that. Raj Luthra, my rating for Shadowplay is a 5 out of 7. That's pretty generous. Nick Nar 2. Jean Diarra, I have to give this one a 2, even though it should have been at least a 5 on paper. It just didn't deliver. That's a good point. Yeah. Urias Tosh, 3 chevrons. I love near Earth tech civilization episodes, but it's just not great on rewatches. I think the first time it would have been good, but now that we're rewatching it, it's a bit like Nick Nar said this is always a skip for me. Lockwatcher, this is a 3 for me. It does continue the Jonah storyline. Dean Stockwell was great. That tiny woman, Janet, made an appearance. That's not a quote from one of the other episodes. A tiny woman. Someone says that at some point, I swear. Which is always nice and seemed like a one-off episode. It is, yeah. Yeah, Iceman 003. I gave it a 4 to 5. Pick one.
I think Anthony comes in a little bit later and explains that. Let's. What do we do? Do we go up? I think we go up.
Yeah, we go up. So 5. Yeah,
Okay.
it was just because of Dr. Phlox. He's not until next episode. Jed Ted 5 chevrons. Yeah, Raj Luthor said it's not here yet. Urias Tosh said it before, say again, Jonas should return in season 9 to take the spot of Mitchell. Very interesting opinion. Carter leads SG-1, Vala can come in. I like the dynamic more. I would have liked to see Jonas return. I think there was lots of good ways to rejig SG-1 after Richard Dean Anderson left, and that could have been one. Dan Ben a 3. Anthony just correcting Iceman on his rating. No halvesies. Yep. And I'm trying to see. Candy Mitt said, "Love this episode. It shows how much the mind can turn against you, and you can't tell. Also shows what this substance can do. So it's a bit of a backstory for possible episodes."
Yep.
And Candy Mitch gave it a 7. And Yuris Tosh said, "The Phantom Menace is a wonderful film." It is. It is a wonderful film. It just gets very Senate-y for Star Wars.
It gets very political.
Yeah.
Yippee!
The worst thing is some of the imitations that I try and do, they get a bit questionable, and it becomes a bit too much. Like I'm just trying to imitate half the characters because they're such jokes and memes. It's just like
I did a really good Stargate. Don't you think I did a good Stargate there? I'm really pleased with this Stargate.
It's very good.
I appreciate that.
All right, we've got a couple
One of my
of
favorites.
yeah.
It's a good time.
Stargate's version
Other
of
Guys is
Lower
a good time.
Decks. So
Yeah.
let's go ahead and get things going here. Whoops, that's the wrong button.
Big excited for this one.
You're big
I'm not-
excited?
I have a lot of things to say about this, so let's jump
Okay.
in, and I'll try not to override all of Evie's fun facts. I got them ready to go on my phone.
Bless
All
you.
right, guys.
Right.
And I just lost my
Oh.
my link. So give me just a second here to pull it back up. I go away and I think that I'm never going to need it again for the rest of the hour, and I am wrong. Okay, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Indeed.
All right. Other Guys with no MGM logo opening. So if you have one, go past it. In 5, 4, 3. Welcome back to Wormhole Extremists. My name is David. I'm with Yvie
Hello.
and Nicole.
Hello, hello.
And that's a really good shot. I love that
It is.
establishing shot.
So this is
who it
Adam
is.
J. Harrington as Konsu. So he previously appeared in the series pilot as a Goa'uld serving a Pothos.
He was.
He
So
looked like
some
Zabakna.
fans
I thought it
He
was
speculate
does.
that, so some fans speculate that it might actually be the same character in
Blow
like
my
an
mind.
undercover role. So
Yeah.
Morjana Kaufman from Gateworld said that Adam's return sort of creates an intriguing connection to his
Yeah,
previous
that's for sure.
Goa'uld role.
And Michael
And we've got
Adamthwaite.
Adam Thwaite, yes. He debuts here and becomes a reoccurring character in 5 episodes over season 6 and
Harak.
7.
Failing upwards, I see.
That's it.
Yes.
Surrender or die. A lot of people
Sorry, I love
dispute
the-
the other guys actually happened because there's a dream sequence near the end,
Exactly.
but it establishes Harak. So there you go.
Yeah.
It does, exactly.
Yeah.
So this episode actually marked a significant milestone for its writer, Damien Kindler. It actually earned him a position on the writing staff.
Ah,
Yes, that's correct.
it's a damn good episode. Well,
It
to a
is.
degree.
To a degree.
There's ups and downs.
To
Dot,
be
dot, dot.
continued.
It's not my favorite,
Yeah.
but it's fun.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I think that's the important thing.
I like this so much more than Avenger 2.0. So much more.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's because
Actually,
Fox is in it.
50% more. Yeah.
So, John Billingsley as Simon Combs makes his only Stargate appearance here.
Yes.
Though obviously Trek fans will recognize him as Dr. Phlox.
Yeah. Enterprise
And
had already
his
started airing.
co-star, yes, his co-star Patrick McKenna as Jay Felger.
Felger.
It goes back. It goes back and forth.
Yeah.
I think it's supposed to be
returns-
Felger.
Felger returns next season in Avenger 2.0, and he's beloved as Harold Green from the Red Green
That's
show.
right.
And when John chatted with Dial the Gate, he revealed that their shared improv backgrounds helped him and Patrick click
Their
instantly on
chemistry
set.
was great.
And the director Martin Wood noticed their chemistry and let them play with the scenes a little bit more,
Yeah.
and even kept some of their ad libs.
Yeah.
So I think though John was keen to return to Stargate, Patrick recalled
was.
that there were some scheduling issues.
Yeah.
Mm.
And John
But
thought
yeah,
that he was
seemed
snubbed.
he seems so offended.
Yeah, he
I
was
like,
really
"Oh, we
bothered
would've-
about it.
We would have loved to have seen
Yeah.
him again.
So, production note here: the rings here. I believe this is the first time that they appear, as physically, and the way that you knew whether or not they were doing a physical prop or a stencil on the ground was whether they needed to open the panel up to interact with it. That determined whether or
course.
not they were a stencil or the set of rings. I sold those rings, by the by.
That's interesting.
Uh-huh.
Okay. That's really cool.
Yep.
So Patrick said on Dial the Gate that he viewed Felger as a third floor scientist looking up to SG-1's 12th floor status. And he aimed for like genuine hero worship rather than fan parody in this role. And it's kind of iconic considering he was already a Stargate fan and his son loved MacGyver.
Yep.
So John, I think, was completely unfamiliar with the series, and he sort of brilliantly summed up Coombs as the voice of hysterical reason, which I
Yep.
thought was great. Also, Tilk's line about the Canucks gained local
Yeah.
fame.
Oh, yeah.
By appearing multiple times on the arena's jumbotron.
Oh, it
during
did.
Vancouver's
I think
playoff
that's
run
the
this
first
year.
fantastic.
Vancouver reference. I really do.
Yeah.
The first Vancouver reference in the show, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh,
This is out by the airport because this is the sand terrain.
Correct. Yeah. But the dunes are just high enough that you can't really see
That's
any of the
correct.
cityscape.
Yep. Classic.
Yeah. I had a set of these MREs for years. You guys had a version of them.
I was gonna say we ate
At
some.
San Diego.
Mention them. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the ones that you produced in San Diego were from the same 1990s batch that we see on
Was it
screen.
the like the berry pack that was supposed to be some sort of cake or some crumble or something? Was the one that went sour
I
and
don't
like we
know.
couldn't eat?
I'm
It
just
was
trying
bad.
to wipe
you
the
went,
experience from my mind.
quite a
It went
lot
very
of them went
sour.
off.
I couldn't
Yeah.
eat it.
It was like fermented.
Yeah, that's what was wrong.
How about that pink lining on the jackets?
I know, it's stunning. It's like a nice salmon pink.
Salmon.
I love salmon pink.
Salmon, yeah.
Ace.
So their count on how many times they've saved Earth is actually inaccurate according to the show's history. So at this point, SG-1 has actually prevented 17 major threats to Earth. And I think more specifically,
Wow.
Jack and Tilk were key players in averting 12 of them.
Interesting. Apparently, Teal'c's definition of saving Earth is more narrow.
Yes, it must be. So his fanboying over SG-1 is delightfully over the top. So I guess I probably shouldn't really judge, considering that I once got weak in the knees over RDA's original Continuum jacket.
Ah,
Yeah,
there
did.
you go.
You did. I was
photos.
there. What I will say about the so like as a nerdy girl, I obviously have been friends and have friends who often at times remind me of Felger. But
Mhm.
I find him to be such an endearing character because it's just such innocence. Like he's just so full of love and appreciation for these people, but it comes across as so overbearing and weird.
Yeah.
And I just love
Exactly.
it though because he doesn't know how else to communicate it, and I love him.
So
Yes,
these
more
are
wholesome
Trekkie
ability
references
theories.
are very meta given John's involvement in the franchise. So it's surprising they've waited this long to include so many references, given that John was the 6th Star Trek veteran to appear on Stargate.
Well, they needed actual nerds in the show because in Stargate you get lots of characters who play different roles, but you haven't really gotten this kind of stereotypical nerd type character.
Yeah.
You know?
So
I love it.
Patrick admitted that he got pretty confused about how to pronounce Goa'uld.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
apparently even the cast and crew were giving him different versions. So
If you're correct about it, it's Goa'uld.
Yeah.
If you're
Goa'uld.
insulting about it, it's Gould.
yes.
Yeah. And even internally, that is not consistent. Ryak said Gould. So.
Oh god.
Imagine making visual effects that are out of focus. I guess you probably render them and then put them out of focus and then re-render them. So,
Yeah, it kind of seems like a lot of effort
Yeah.
to go through for something to be just kind of in the background.
yeah.
But that's TV for you.
Oh, come on. It's not even aiming.
Well, I meant that's
Yeah, it's trying to
gonna say
catch
it's
them.
probably
It's not trying to
deliberate,
kill
but-
them.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
good point. That's right. They have orders to capture.
Mm.
That's right. That's
But they do have
right.
Stormtrooper aim anyway, so
That's true.
They do, yeah. So if you keep an eye on Maya's belts, there's actually a roll of duct tape. So someone
really?
online said that it might be a sneaky nod to
I
MacGyver.
suspect so.
Yeah,
You mean to Red Green.
see there, yeah.
Red Green show is always about duct tape.
Oh, okay. Well, it could be that too, actually. That's
Uh-huh.
perfect. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, duct tape is the
dramatic
thing.
zoom out.
Oh, yeah.
First, you made me laugh. It's just the comedic timing of it. It's it's like, oh yeah, they're screwed. Oh, this is such a silly
I
episode.
mean, they do look very compliant, don't they?
Yeah.
Having been
Great
just
matte
captured.
shot. The 4 ash rocks. All the rocks have a sideways rock on top of them.
Yes.
Yeah, listener.
Oh, I love him.
So I will say I've always had kind of an issue with shows like The Big Bang Theory for always showing the nerdy characters to be so cringy and so lame and kind of making fun of them. But for some reason, with the way that Stargate did it, I didn't mind so much because in the end they are heroes and they're really intelligent. They just really struggle with communicating. Kind of like McKay. Except McKay, instead of being kind of cute, is just an ass.
Yeah.
There's like a whole spectrum of people and types of people, and this is
Absolutely.
just one type we don't see in Stargate often.
Until we get like a little bit more of like Dr. Lee.
This is true.
Yeah, I love Dr. Lee.
Yeah, so do I.
Was that duct tape or was it just tape?
I look like
I don't
masking tape,
know.
maybe.
It might be masking tape.
This is my
No,
favorite
he's not.
line.
He's definitely.
This is the best part.
Shoot
Like, what can O'Neill do? I'll shoot you. Like they know what he's like so well, and that's the joke.
So I believe Patrick's deliberately awkward ring entrance was apparently so spot on that they needed multiple takes. The crew just like couldn't keep a straight face. I love it though. It's so great. Oh,
It's so good.
my God. I also wanted to make a comment on Patrick and John's on-screen chemistry. So in separate interviews, they both had such warm words for each other. So John called Patrick charming and marvelous, while Patrick praised John's open energy and called him a great shepherd through the sci-fi elements of the show.
Oh.
And they actually bonded while staying at the same hotel during filming, which I think kind of shows in their performance.
It does.
I have stayed at that hotel.
Oh, have you?
Yes, I have.
Urius Tosh said, "Why didn't SG-1 ever bring pizza as a peace offering, or trade product off-world if we're being serious?" And my response is because it'll be cold by the time it gets there.
Yeah, that's right.
And they will not see it as positive.
Well, they could have taken it from the commissary. So yeah,
It will be cold unless you give it to
It
them like
probably
literally
would've
like
been.
a second
Yeah.
later. But like, there's a lot of yapping when you meet people at the gate.
So I will never tire of Don Davis pronouncing the H in what. Like, it just sustains me.
what?
Yeah, it just sustains me. It's great.
Cool whip. Cool whip.
So I saw fans commenting online that these ventilation shafts are apparently reminiscent of the Jeffries tubes in
That's
Star
all
Trek.
they could be. Yeah, they're just a little
Yeah.
bit wider, is all. And we'll see them again in Homecoming, I think, or Fallen, one of the two.
I like that.
First time being captured. And it's like, oh yeah, and then he's smiling.
Oh, it's funny.
No, about that.
It's funny because everything actually goes wrong, and SG-1 does need rescuing in the end, and so they are like
Kind of,
heroes in
yeah.
the end. But
I think it's interesting that even Jonas doesn't know what's really going on.
No.
I guess so that if they get captured and interrogated, there's less of a chance.
True, yeah. They can actually deny knowing what's happening.
I love Harak's title,
Yeah.
the full title.
So apparently Konsu's emblem was meant to look like a Klingon batleth. I apologize if I mispronounced that. But honestly, like, all I'm seeing is 4 intersecting bananas. I don't know, that's all I'm seeing. Or like a badly
Golden
drawn
bananas.
bowl and saucer in profile.
Yeah. I'm new. Yeah.
That's all the introduction Jonas gets. He's new.
Darren and I had debates. Okay, does Ammon check a planet? Does Ammon check a place? Do we put it under planets? Miscellany? What do we do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I assume it's a
Brilliant.
place.
You got the job.
I hate to always be that person because I can't help but think about it with my IBS. But like, surely there's a toilet or a bucket somewhere. Like, I never
Not in
see them
sci-fi.
in these prisons in sci-fi, and it always bothers me. I'm like, there's got to be a bog somewhere, okay?
Oh, I love that you said bog.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that word in a while.
Like
I-
a swamp?
Maybe those
Oh,
no, bog
David.
is it's just like British slang for
English
toilet.
slang for toilet.
yeah,
Yeah.
like there aren't enough of those
bog.
already.
Like bog roll.
Oh.
toilet
Yeah.
roll.
So what I loved there was Jack checking if his resume line landed.
Yeah.
Like I think it kind of suggests that he has like a pre-planned quips. And I
Like
think it's
you.
also like a really genius writing move. Yeah, indeed, this is one of those pre-planned quips. But like if a one-liner falls flat, it's sort of like the writers are able to say, hey, it's not us, it's Jack just working on his material.
That's it.
I love this part. Just
When
wait
they
for
go
it.
in the opposite
Wait for it.
direction, it's just adorable.
It's just it's the simple
adorable.
things.
There's a similar
love it.
scene in Avenger 2.0. That's good, Carter.
Yeah.
That's good, Carter. Where did she take me? I don't know where I am.
Oh, see, nothing says secure Gorwald's prison cell like a conveniently placed human-sized air vent.
That's it.
Yeah. Is that a bird? No, it's Felger, and he's got Coombs with him.
Oh,
And I love how it
that
just
line so
pops
much.
off like some kind of, Japanese wall decoration.
Yeah.
Magnetically. There we go. Oh, okay. So there is an in-universe explanation. Okay.
Literally magnets is the
Magnets.
is the,
Yeah.
is the excuse. Oh my god. Oh, I love when you interviewed him and you said David's got Coombs with him.
Oh,
Oh,
absolutely.
it's good.
I think someone in the crowd said that. I don't think they're actually there. I think these shots are just taken, with just
Oh,
the
filmed
camera on the other
separately?
side. Yeah, because I think that both of these sets are on the same level.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Trick of the camera.
I love that.
Is that when it got in tight, when you couldn't see well, maybe not. Oh, no, it's got to be. Yeah, because Rick was standing there, so never mind. I'm wrong.
Or they just, lifted up the set a little bit.
Yeah, that's true, too, and just put Rick down there.
Mm.
So, like, for a top secret mission involving an undercover Tok'ra, they're surprisingly casual about discussing Konsu's true identity in a monitored prison cell.
That's true. But it's not monitored, is it?
Well, I don't know. It's probably not, but like
There should be
you
guards
you'd
standing
assume
right
that
there.
there is some monitoring going on. They're not just going to put, I don't know, it'd be very arrogant. Oh, I guess that's kind of the Gorwald way
Yeah.
to just put people away and just assume that they're stuck there. Like
I like
can't
that
do
you've
the
answered
thing
the
to get out.
stupidity with Gould arrogance because that is just an answer that works.
But recording devices, yeah, they weren't a thing yet.
I also love
That's
how
not true either, David.
I know, I'm kidding.
Okay.
I also love how Jack just says Carter, and then Sam instantly knows that she's been drafted as some sort of diplomatic translator.
Yep.
Brilliant.
Yep. I'm out of this.
Yeah, I'm tapping out. Take over.
So I guess Jonas did know.
See, it's Felger, it changes.
Yep. From Ashen.
Yeah. Boring.
Yeah, but
Bad joke.
that's deliberate.
Yeah, I know, I'm making a bad joke.
Oh boy, here we go.
Oh dear. Oh, don't
It's
worry
Rob
about this. There's
Cooper.
a huge
Good guys.
hole in the wall.
You caught us. Oh,
I love the
free
way that
Jaffa.
Jack tried to cover that big window.
Yeah.
And the physical acting here is ridiculous. Like, look at this.
He's all about physical acting.
Yeah, and it's not just him though, because if you cut to the rest of SG-1, it's just so silly. Cut back.
Are you talking
Look,
about the extra legs?
Yeah, he's about to notice. It's so bloody funny.
But like Tilt's
Don't worry about it.
completely got his legs separated. Like he's got that strong stance going on. If he had his legs closer together, it would have been easier to hide them.
Can you park them somewhere until we're done?
Just put them somewhere else.
Yeah.
Relatively secure.
I have a very weird crush on Felger and Coombs.
Really?
I don't know why. They're just like I've just always had a bit of like a thing for like just the cute nerds that are just doing their best.
Patrick's got a mean goatee going now. He looks good.
I'm not gonna lie,
does.
David. He is hot. I was like,
Yeah,
damn.
yeah,
I don't know about that,
You look
but yeah.
good. I think he's a snack, David.
I prefer his personality to Felger's personality. I had a really good time with him.
Yeah, I love both. He was
Mhm,
great. Honestly, David, he may be my favorite person that you've interviewed
He's
in
a
a while.
great guy.
I loved
He's a
him.
very good guy. Yeah, both of those interviews were fantastic.
No. Don't worry about it.
I got it.
He's got some gorgeous, like, late 90s, early 2000s hair going on.
Right? He is
I wonder if he did it
so
himself
pretty.
or if, like, costume did it. He's got, like, a bit of eyeliner. It's great.
I've noticed actually in television a lot, they tend to put a bit of eyeliner on men just to bring out their eyes a bit more on screen.
Mhm,
I realized when I was watching like the Vampire Diaries, I saw it on Damon, and then I was like, oh wait a minute, what? And then I started watching other TV, and people who weren't even that hot had eyeliner as well, and I'm like, what's going on? These men all have eyeliner.
So I think Stay Hidden or Forfeit Your Lives has to be the most intense game of hide and seek in the galaxy.
Yeah. Oh dear.
That's a stock shot from Double Jeopardy.
Yes.
Of course it is, yes.
My brain can still brain now and then. Ginsu.
So, like, Jack deliberately butchers Khonsu as Ginsu, but
He
gets
does.
Herrick's name perfectly correct.
I like
So, like, it's...
So you said it wrong while you said that, which is why that's so funny.
Oh,
You said
Herrick.
Harrigan, yeah.
Oh, I thought it was on purpose. Okay.
No, that's just me. That's just my morning brain starting to
Absolutely brilliant.
Take
we're
over.
all biffing names either on purpose or by accident, and it's all beautifully timed. I'm loving it.
It's like ray shields in Star Wars.
Yeah.
So, I also think that his like cryptic comment coming up about bowing before my master hits like really differently when you realize that he's actually working
He's
for
in on it.
Anubis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which master?
The big boy.
Well, he's clearly
Biggest
talking about
boy there
Anubis.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
We
big
just don't
boy.
know it yet. Yep.
The biggest of boys in the galaxy.
Smarmy, slick, oil,
Overdressed.
greasy looking face. Yeah.
Greasy,
Boombox.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Why can't he send his free Jaffa just like the rest of us? Off-world assignments.
So I didn't realize, but apparently in fiction, a red shirt is an informal term for a character who's killed off shortly after being introduced.
Yeah.
So
You
like,
didn't know
Coombs
that?
No, I didn't know that. I know it's a
Star Trek
thing. No,
reference,
I didn't
uh-huh.
know it. But Coombs like drops this reference, and like it turns out kind of ironic when like Khonsu wearing red doesn't survive the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. That may be on purpose. Yeah. Who directed this one? Is it Deloise? Let me see here.
No.
Yeah, I don't
was
think
it?
it is.
It is actually I didn't write it down.
Peter Deloise directed Shadowplay.
Yeah, he did the last one.
Martin Wood directed this one. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
Lol. Look at their eyes. Love it.
Everything is on casters for easy movement on a film set.
Exactly.
These poor bastards.
I love him. I have a Vesper and 2 cats. Oh, I love him so much.
I don't know that for sure.
Oh, so
Something hinky.
apparently
Oh,
the
jeez.
hinky line was actually ad-libbed. And despite Coombs doubting it's a real word, it is indeed a real word.
It
It
is.
means nervous or suspicious.
That's
There we
it.
go.
Also, Patrick
Cut it out.
mentioned that wearing the Jafar costumes was quite the reality check because apparently they're basically as heavy and cumbersome as they look.
They are. I have worn one.
Oh, you have worn one.
The way he's
Yeah.
just
That's
holding the
cool.
wound with his hand, being like, "Don't worry about it."
I
Bowing
love
to each
how they're
other.
greeting each other like.
Put on his glasses.
And no one sort of like just wonders if they're supposed to be there.
Where do they
Except
find the
for
marker
this
to
one
draw
guy.
the symbol on their heads?
That's what I
don't
wondered.
know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I would just pulled the ball cap forward enough that you like can't, the
Well, I
ball
want to
cap
know
covers
if
it.
Coombs is wearing the cap backwards or if his hair is just making it sit weird.
I think it's making it sit weird.
Yeah.
He's imitating the actor, yeah.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Oh, jeez, that's funny.
His him is completely different. Oh.
So good.
So apparently, word is the weapons behind Khonsu are a Klingon batleth and the
Yes.
Kurgan sword from Highlander.
Oh, could be. Yeah, that's definitely a batleth. Why choose
Osbro.
now? I guess because you got SG-1?
Yeah.
Mm. Oh,
Oof.
right in the ticker.
Oh, boy.
Mm.
This guy with the statue next to me here.
Mm.
The Greyhound.
The Greyhound.
I always feel
It's a
like
jackal.
the Anubis jackals look like greyhounds. Actually,
Yeah.
isn't it that like there are old like Egyptian paintings and it's like they are like greyhounds around there, or like they just look
absolutely.
really greyhoundy. So
Mm.
Yeah.
they're a majestic dog that have been around in like old paintings forever. Like if you look at British tapestries and paintings, they're bloody everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very proud as a greyhound owner, in case people in the chat are not aware.
Absolutely.
I got that. So, I think as Miracle Max says in The Princess Bride, mostly dead is slightly alive. Are you calling us fruit?
See, now they're like, oh, we're biffed.
On fruit,
Yeah.
just attack.
See, now you need these two to save you bacon.
Bacon and fruit. I'm just thinking of like
Oh,
breakfast.
pancakes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my pancake place in my village is open tomorrow. Should go get some.
The pain stick. Gold
Oh,
cattle
classic.
prod.
Classic.
Yeah.
I think I read somewhere that there was a few fans who were like really surprised that they did this imprisonment episode so soon after Abyss.
Yeah.
Mm.
Pride in my work.
I actually really like Harak because he's just such
he's snarky.
He
such a
is snarky.
Jafar. You don't see snarky Jafar that often. It's usually the Gould. I'm glad I get
The
to see him
line is
die in
coming
Lost
up,
City.
guys. The line.
Oh, yeah. It's a preposition.
Yep.
Khonsu would have a sarcophagus, would he not?
Would have thought so.
I wonder how long a corpse can lay around without a sarcophagus.
You ended that sentence.
Look at the face.
So apparently on Sky One they cut this line short, so you don't hear the bastard bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we've kind of gotten over that, and you can kind of just say almost anything on TV now.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think, to be honest, right? I mean, who cares? You know what you're watching. You know what's happening. It's not even like a really bad word. It's not like you threw out the F word or something.
Mm.
So it's a good thing they've got the other guys with them.
Yeah.
They're on their own.
Candy Mitch has ordered a pizza. Following on from the pizza conversation earlier.
Thrilled. I'm gonna have some pizza later.
I had some gnocchi. I made gnocchi for dinner.
Oh, that sounds good too.
Now I'm hungry.
Actually, I have a nice piece of cake to look forward to later from Dad's birthday.
I find the leave people behind a discussion very like difficult because it's always like it's often a numbers game, right? It's like how many people are you gonna lose for
It's
one
resource
person?
dedication. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it, yeah. So,
Like, we do.
yeah,
We have to. No, go.
I was going to say that I've seen some fans online point out that a Jafar wearing glasses would be a dead giveaway since symbiotes correct vision problems.
That's
but
it.
if you actually watch this episode closely, Coombs is pretty careful. Like he only wears them when he's in private moments with Felga.
Yeah,
and
he
not
hides them
when they're around actual Jafar. And speaking of glasses, apparently John actually broke his during filming. So they had to do like a patch up on the fly. And Martin Wood jokingly justified the repair as gooable Scotch tape.
Brilliant.
I've seen the Scotch tape on his right temple.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I can see it there. Operation. There it is.
Like a normal person.
Op is one syllable. That's why he does it. Stop yelling at each other.
Oh, their chemistry is so good though.
There are some
Big
annoying
empty
shortened
spaces.
things that you say like BRB. Like I say that, and then I'm like, why am I saying BRB? It's be right back. It's the exact
It's
amount.
the same
of
amount of
effort.
syllable.
But
Yeah.
people know what you're saying.
Yeah. So now what like Jeff and I do when we're playing Xbox is we'll go burb, which is just
Burb.
BRB. Burb, a word, yeah. And that's it.
I would have to like just for a second, it'll take me a moment to realize if it was someone saying burp or someone burping. You know, 'cause it's just, where does that is that
Well,
a
if they
word
get
or
up
is
and
that a
walk
verb?
away, you'll know.
True.
And they reuse this set in Homecoming, don't they?
This is from the set from aren't those panels from Double Jeopardy when she's pulling the things out of the walls?
Were they? So they're
maybe.
lying down now. So you're saying they took them from being
Yeah, they changed the
side of
orientation of
upright.
them. Yeah.
Yeah, and I swear that we see
Ah.
that same seating thing
Yeah.
again with Daniel and Jonas in Homecoming.
Yeah.
in
Orientation
season
is very fluid these days.
7. Yeah. Brilliant. Love that.
So it's kind of an interesting contrast. Like they let Patrick ham it up with this fake hero voice. But they wouldn't let Doug Abrams alter his voice in the last episode. But I kind of guess it makes sense because Felga's voice is supposed to sound forced because
That's correct.
he's sort of playing pretend
That's
while
it.
Hale sort of needed to be more authentic.
That's it.
And I just realized that I said
I'm
Felga,
on my
not
way.
Felger, and I just feel like I don't know where my head's
You
at.
said Felga, Jack said Felger, and then
Yeah.
like Coombs says Felga. It's all
Yeah,
right.
I
That's
think
it.
it's supposed to be Felga.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I would never be the first one to stick my arm through the thing to see if it's still there. I'd be like, now
It
someone else
looked
can
like
do
it
that.
really hurt.
Yeah.
I'd use my foot.
I am kind of that idiot though. Like I am kind of stupid like that. like the other day, I looked at my stove and I went, "Why does it feel like it's hot?" So I was like, "I'll just touch it." And I touched it and I burnt my hand. And I was like, "Idiot! You knew that was gonna happen."
Oh no. Twice.
Yeah, but he's not under your command. Well, I guess he technically is.
Oh, he should have
But,
thrown up the third
He
finger.
can't.
Yeah.
Crystal, I will shoot you.
I love how badly drawn on the symbol is this time.
I know they are pretty badly drawn, and that it starts to like run after a while as well.
I feel like they actually just had a Sharpie pen just in their pocket.
I'd say
They were
Probably
like,
carrying a Sharpie, yeah.
Yeah, which is why it looks so bad. Yeah.
Oh, he's just got adrenaline pumping through his veins.
Aww.
Yeah,
This is
that's
what we
true.
do.
That's actually true.
I love Stargate. It's such a silly show
Me
sometimes.
too.
Yeah, there are
Like,
some
it's
of
kinda
these
silly, it's why it's
episodes
so
that
good.
like lean more toward Doctor Who silly, you know. But you know, as long as they're every once in a while, I don't mind.
Yeah.
But it's like this series is not set in the SGU reality. In some cases,
Definitely not completely different.
No, I couldn't watch like a Doctor Who type show consistently because for me it's just
Some of the
it's
older
always been
episodes are bad.
yeah it
Oh,
was
yeah,
also
really
created as
clunky.
like it's a kids show at its essence.
Yeah.
And it's like it's family friendly, but like, you know, it's always a bit simpler. But it's I get why people who grow up watching it and even people who join in as fans as adults love it because it is very funny and there are some
It's
really
just
intelligent
fun.
stories. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Adam and I have just started rewatching the Matt Smith era
Okay.
because we haven't seen like the last couple of seasons, so we
Okay.
thought we'd start from Matt Smith and work forward. So
I just
we
find
just started
some,
watching that
some
the
of
other
it just
day.
a bit too cringy sometimes. Where I'm
Some
like,
of it is
"Oh."
absolutely
Like unbelievable?
Yeah, and
It
that's
is.
why I can't watch
Like you
it.
can't pay, like you can't take it seriously.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
While
There is some
Stargate,
seriousness there too, though.
yeah, obviously, there are some stellar episodes, but this is why
Mm.
Stargate for me has always been the perfect balance because it does both, you know,
The
really
first
well.
Doctor Who episode I saw was probably 11, 12 years old, and it was a Tom Baker episode, and he had K9, and he had a couple of companions, and I mean, I picked the whole thing apart. I was like, they're hiding there in the background, you know, while other
12-year-old
people are
David
hunting
picking
for
it
them,
apart.
and they could clearly see them if they were looking. It's like, I can see them looking at them. Why can't they see them? So I just had a hard time with it, but it was entertaining.
Fair.
The dog was cool.
Yeah.
I love how they had those like elongated Jaffa like shadows creeping up the pyramid
Yeah.
wall.
Yeah.
It's sort of very ominous, approaching danger.
Dan Ben said, I feel like Stargate doesn't get referenced a lot in other sci-fi. It never does, Dan Ben, and I'm
That's true.
mad.
That's true.
Big Bang Theory referenced it once and referenced an episode that didn't even exist. So that made me angry during a paintball episode.
Yeah,
of
at
Big
least
Bang.
do it right. You literally
Yeah.
have like how many seasons all up to reference? Like
All they do is reference
right.
other TV. That's why I don't like Big Bang Theory at its core. It makes fun of
Yeah.
nerds.
That's my issue with it.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
also
it's-
it does the only thing that makes it amusing is that it references other material, you know, and then makes fun of nerds. Like, no, I'm not
those
watching
cute
that.
little nerds. They're so ignorant. Give them a pat on the head.
Yeah,
You know.
makes me angry.
I tried watching it from the start because I thought I'd enjoy it, but I couldn't really get into it. So
No.
I have friends who love it, and
Me
some
too.
of,
My
some
mum
of
loves
those.
it, oddly.
There are some scenes from it that really make me laugh out loud.
yeah.
The whole Xbox PlayStation argument thing. That's please
That was
pass the
really
butter.
funny.
That's a really funny. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Google or YouTube Big Bang Theory. Please pass the butter.
Yeah. See, Felger is kind of like he's kind of in a ways that kind of like got that nerdiness to him. But for some reason, the way Stargate does it, I just appreciate it so much more.
For sure.
It didn't feel as nasty as Big Bang does. Maybe
it was
because it's
Dan
not,
Payne.
you know, 200 episodes. Was it?
Yeah, it looked like
Oh,
Dan
it might
Payne.
have been.
Ted said Hot Tub Time Machine also references Stargate. It does, I
Really?
remember.
Okay.
Yeah, they talk about one guy mentions it as a way to like be like, yeah, I know how this time stuff works. I watch Stargate.
Is this the same lake where the P4X 888 or whatever it is, the
It
gold?
might be.
I was
yeah.
at the Gould Pond.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the gold pond.
Oh, buddy.
Shh. I've got a problem. Shh. Don't hear your problem.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, he sweated his symbol right off.
Yeah. I mean, who wouldn't? Dangerous situation, not fun. Rosalind said, "I'm a nerd and a geek, and I still like watching Big Bang Theory." And if you do, you do.
Some
I
people,
just can't.
I get it.
Yeah.
You know,
Just it's resonated with a lot of people.
for sure.
When they reference Firefly's cancellation, and then Sheldon's like upset about it, and all the people in the audience laugh, I'm like, you guys
Okay.
don't even get that joke. So
Just notice Tilk was in the water not a few seconds ago, and
he's
now
now
his uniform
dry.
is completely dry.
That's true. That staff cannon is not opened. There's a switch on the bed. There's a lever on it that opens it. Gotta go get him. He's stuck.
The hot tub time machine reference is I write Stargate fan fiction.
Oh, there
That's
you
what he
go.
Me too.
I like that it looks like cardboard.
I was gonna say
paper.
it looks like just like balsa
Like
wood or something.
IKEA furniture.
Yeah.
That's right. A broken IKEA furniture.
furniture.
That's right. It's plywood walls.
Plywood,
Yeah.
yes.
It's just a fiberboard. So it's been glued together. Let's go get him.
It just
We'll see. The way he puts his arms out, like,
doesn't even finish the rest.
It almost looks like stone, I guess, but I can see the
It's
wood
meant
chip
to
in
No,
be
it's
there.
stone.
definitely wood.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love how they don't show the
His-
battle.
Yeah,
Just
save
seeing
money.
just seeing his reaction is great.
His relief is adorable. I love him
Yes.
so much.
Closed caption says, "Battle sounds die down."
Along with a whole
Look, he's like ready to
fart.
poop himself. I love
The relief.
this poor man. Yeah, get out of there,
Aw.
Coons. You're a good egg.
And we're about to see the
Go back
famous
to your cats.
gif.
Oh
like the
yeah,
Jack
Gate is
gif.
gonna gate.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite reactions from the show. This really did make me laugh out loud.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
was really funny.
There's no need for it, but it's
Like, oh
very
well,
funny.
next time.
Yeah. Oh my god.
He's just such an
So,
arse.
according to Malozzi, the production team only intended for this final ceremony to be Felga's daydream, not the entire episode. But after viewing the finished product, they realized that viewers might actually
There's Martin Wood,
interpret
by
the
the way, on the
whole
left.
adventure as imaginary.
Yeah.
So, while some fans have made like compelling arguments for the like all in a dream theory, that wasn't the original intent.
No, and like I said, Harak is established in this episode.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just
I
like
should have
Wormhole
remembered.
Extreme, Malcolm Barrett is established in that episode.
Yes.
I should have remembered that this was Martin Wood, because I remember they were doing behind the scenes for this, and they were talking about how she and Felger have to kiss, and then she makes some sort of joke about being the Black Widow of Stargate, and then she's like, everyone who I kiss died. It's nice that he doesn't die this time. And then she kisses Martin Wood in the
Oh,
behind the
of
scenes,
course.
and then says to Martin Wood after kissing him, "Now you die." And then she goes, "I still have the power." It's like my favorite behind the scenes like
Oh.
moment.
So, Joseph Malozzi counts this among his favorites, praising the guest stars for their performances.
Yeah.
And Mojana Kaufman praised the writing and production, and she noted how Damien Kinsler successfully parodied sci-fi while advancing the season's storyline. And I was
Yeah.
reading through Reddit reactions to this episode's like comedic approach, and there were some viewers who struggled with like the tonal shift after Abyss, and
Mhm.
others welcomed the laughs after a couple of dark episodes. But the debate online mostly centers on whether SG-1 earned the right to poke fun at their own tropes, especially the
Yes.
classic getting captured scenario.
Over 100
And
episodes in,
these
yes.
opinions on Felga and Coombs are mixed. And there's an interesting note that Felga's solo return in Avenger 2.0 found a better, like, dramatic balance. And David, I know you and Darren discussed this episode on the Gate World podcast, and I think you both praised the performances, but you felt that the episode's comedy ambitions didn't quite stick the landing.
It's okay.
And I think Darren actually mentioned like character likability.
Yeah.
Also, I was going to say just quickly, every time I hear Jay Felger's name, I can't help but thinking of Homer Simpson discovering his middle initial
Homer
J actually
J.
stood for
Simpson.
Jay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jay. Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
I think this is a damn good episode.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm excited.
Well, let's rate them and find out. That was The Other Guys, everyone. Good news, everyone. All right.
I can't believe that there are like, there are so many mixed opinions on this.
Why?
It's like, I just can't like to me, this has always been an episode that's like just so solid.
Really?
I find that, yeah. So I find that very surprising that Evie's like dropping all these facts about people being very mixed about it. So yeah.
This
very,
episode
like-
was new when your fandom was new, though, right?
In what sense?
Like, was this not one of the first episodes that you saw fairly early on?
I saw most season 1, season 4 and 5, and then I think I bumped up to 8, 7.
so
It
this
was
was
one of the
later
last
on, then.
ones. Yeah, it was one of the later ones. Season 6
there
came in
goes that
late.
theory.
Yeah. Yeah, season 6 was late for me.
All right.
I do think that season 6 kind of blows. So this episode is one of those ones that doesn't. So-
Okay, you go ahead and give your opinions first.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
let's
You've already
move
started.
on from blows. Go on.
Yeah, it just season 6 just kind of blows, and we know that. But there are some really great episodes, and there are episodes where there are new characters introduced, and they have the ability to shine. And sometimes the stories just don't give the opportunity for that to happen. One of my favorite, shiniest episodes is Prometheus Unbound, because Claudia Black shines so bright there. She's incredible. She has an incredible performance with Michael Shanks.
That's true.
And having that, like, just two people just bouncing off each other is so funny and so works so well sometimes.
I must
And I
say,
think-
when she, if I may insert, going from an enormous monster of a person to when she, and under this all cull suit armor, to when she takes that helmet off and becomes a petite person, that's really amazing acting. I don't know how she does that, but that's really amazing.
I that's one of the funniest scenes in the whole show. I remember watching that, being absolutely shook. And
It's like, where did the big guy go?
Yeah, they
She's small.
They just cut away, put her in it. It's like, oh no, what happened?
Just have a tight shot on her. No one will notice.
Just shrunk. Yeah, no one noticed. But her neck has suddenly gone from here to like in the suit. But I think that Stargate has so many great opportunities to shine, and this is one of them where they really I think they really took care and paid attention and like fed. It was also, they said they ad-libbed a lot, and that's what made Prometheus Unbound shine. If you're going to make something funny, you need to let them kind of go, and those ones for me are some of the strongest episodes that, especially on a budget, those are like bangers. So I think that this episode is one of my favorites of season 6. It's one of the only ones that makes it not blow. And I love Felger, I love Coombs, and I'm sad we didn't get to see Coombs again. And I've got a very bizarre story in a minute, but after all the ratings are done, before we peace out. But yeah, I think I'd give this a 5.
Oh, David, did you want to go?
I'll go. So it's definitely the Lower Decks episode of Stargate. They're definitely saying, okay, this is an idea that's been done before science fiction, but let's do it in a way that applies to our SG teams and the scientists that would be occasionally going off world but get stuck. I get what they're doing. I get what they're going with. I think that the humor is a little bit over the top, that they kind of make them like they don't feel like real people. I mean, I think that there could have been a way to do this where Felger was genuinely fanboying, but was also a serious kind of character, that I think would have made him come off a little bit more endearing, rather than absolutely making them completely bumbling, borderline incompetent. I just wish that it had been tighter in that regard. Having said that, I think it is superbly well cast. I just think that they could have tightened the characters' performances a little bit to make them a little bit more realistic and be like, yeah, that would have been exactly me in that situation. it just goes off it flies right off the rails in Avenger 2.0 with like the pants backwards and everything else. It's like, okay, come on. Yeah, we can make it so that he's, you know, smitten with Carter, but not like an imbecile. He's an imbecile. And that's coming from a person who loves the actor's performance.
Yeah.
I'll give it a 4. I wanted to give it a 3, but I'll give it a 4 because I compared it to the 3 that I gave to Shadowplay. And I'm like, it's definitely better than Shadowplay. So
It's definitely a lot better than Shadowplay. Yeah.
Yvie?
Okay. I
really
am
a brass
going
tack
to go...
season. Let me tell you that right now. Let me tell you what I really think. Go ahead. I
am going to go with a 5 as well.
Yay!
Because I just enjoy the tonal shift.
Yeah.
Because we've dealt with torture, we've dealt with schizophrenia. Like, there's been some heavy topics this season.
And we've got heavy
and
incoming.
I think, yeah, we do. And I think it's fun just to, I don't know. I actually find the characters quite, I guess, relatable because as, you know, a bit of a fangirl, I don't really see that.
Okay.
I've been real stupid
over the top.
sometimes.
I think he's definitely over the top.
Yeah.
But I don't really see him as being, you know, completely ridiculous.
Okay.
But I mean, that said, in this episode, he doesn't really shine as a scientist. Like, I don't really see him as a scientist. He doesn't really do anything science-y except for like that initial you know, piggybacking on the on like the matter stream or whatever to get aboard the ship.
Right.
At the very start, you know, it's just sort of, you know, they just sort of bumble their way along for the rest of the episode. We don't really get to understand, I guess, why he's like, because we assume if he's been recruited to work for the SGC, he's obviously incredibly good at what he does. But that's only inferred. Like, we don't actually get, like, there's no backup until we get to 2.0, I guess. Like,
and then his
you see more
fail.
science. They do fail, but you kind of see that there is some brilliance behind them. Like,
and Carter does say he is a brilliant scientist. So,
yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I really enjoy the performances. I think the chemistry between the two leads is amazing, and I think it's enough to distract from the fact that I guess they are sort of front of screen, whereas the rest of SG-1 are kind of in the background. But I think it's enough of a distraction so that you don't really notice. So
it's a great idea.
Enjoy this episode. I think it's fun.
Yeah.
So definitely a 5 from me.
It's nice to have fun.
It is nice to have
in
fun.
Star Trek: The Next Generation, there's a character by the name of Reginald Barclay. And Barclay
that sounds like a nerd already.
Borderline competent. He's not the sharpest grain, but he has some great ideas. But he's completely frozen out of shyness. He's so shy. And that character worked so well that they would bring him back year after year to where you really cared about the character. You really liked the character. Not everyone did universally, of course. But it's like, I get that. I get that guy. That makes sense. You know, I've been in situations where I feel completely socially out of my depth. And the other characters in the show lifted him up rather than constantly pushed him down. And O'Neill just begrudgingly takes them on. He doesn't like them at all.
No, he doesn't.
I mean, he's never liked nerds, has he? He's always been kind of...
That's
Except
true.
for Sam, but it took him a while to warm to her.
Yeah.
I mean, also, you know, she's like really hot, so that, unfortunately, that helps.
Yeah. I'm just not crazy about it. So that's all there is to it.
That's fine.
But I'm really glad that it's one of Nicole's favorites.
I love it. It's so good.
It's clearly landing for someone. And, you know, not every episode is supposed to land for me.
Yes.
I mean, technically, it's probably, you know, is supposed to, but it just doesn't. And that's just how it is. But yeah.
I think I've also always had a bit of a crush growing up on like the more underdog type characters. So like I've always like, so Han Solo was like one that I always like really liked, obviously, because he's just so damn hot. And there's not many other options in Star Wars. Luke was kind of boring. You know, the first time as I grew up, I grew to like him. No one come for me.
You think Han Solo's an underdog?
No, I'm saying,
Han
I'm
Solo's
saying,
a jock.
no.
In
I know
terms
that's
of
what.
personality?
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying at all.
okay.
I'm saying he's the one outlier. Cutting back
I
to
see.
the underdog situation in Stargate, it was never Richard Anderson for me. It was always like
Mm.
Daniel, and then
Yeah.
in these kind of episodes, it's Felger and it's Coombs that I have a bit of a crush on, or like it's McKay who's the like asshole who doesn't understand how to interact with people, but I'm really
Yeah.
into him because he's just so like he just doesn't really get things, and people misunderstand him. So I'm always like, oh, I want to protect you. I want to
Mhm.
help you. You're so
Aw.
cute. And stuff like that. So I've always liked the people that tend to be looked down on just a little bit more than the other ones. So like you won't have me sitting there going, oh, John Shepherd, yeah, oof.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know, like that's not me.
Rob Cooper
Mm.
made the point. We are attracted to competence in characters, whereas someone like Walter White, who's by the end of it so resentful, he's very good at what he does, and we are drawn to that. We are drawn to competent characters. So
I'm
there's
drawn
something
to a
that he's
combination
very
of
good
competence, apparently. So
at. The reason that
Competent at
they're
being incompetent.
the reason that they're on that planet at the beginning of the episode is because they're part of the best of the best.
yeah,
That's all there is to it.
exactly.
Exactly.
So-
They're just
Exactly.
bumbling. So we've got Anthony. This is a 4. It's a 3 for the episode and a chevron for the O'Neill / Felger and Felger / Coombs moments. So there's a 4 overall. We die to 72 says 7 out of 7. Very good responses. I'm seeing.
Wow. Okay.
Nick Nah,
Wow.
a 6. Yeah, Lockwatcher. This is a 6 from
Okay.
me. Felger and Coombs are great. When you watch the episode, it's hard to not come away with a smile. The ending words of nerd and geek said it all. Yeah. Jim Victoria-
Weedider, please, if you're still around, please let me know why it's a 7.
Yeah, there are
I'd
lots
love
of
to
other
know
sevens
why.
coming in. Actually, people. tell us
Anyone
what
who said a
sevens.
7, please.
Yeah, we've got a bunch
consider
coming.
yourself free to explain yourself further.
Yeah.
Anyone who gives a 1 out or a 7, I'd really like to know why.
Yeah,
Sure,
and
Victoria
he
voted
means that as in, please explain yourself, not
Yeah.
please explain yourself.
Well, I mean, no, yeah.
That's
I'm
how I
really
ask.
curious
I go,
as to why you
"What?
think
Yeah.
this is
Explain yourself.
This is some of the best. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Jim Victoria voted a 5 before disappearing. Candy. So again, Thanksgiving. So thank you so much for giving your vote before you left. There, I really appreciate that everyone
Yes.
does that. Candy Mitch 7 hands down. Easy Sparky a 7. Raj Luthra a 7. Really a high 6 up to 7. Urias Tosh 1 chevron. Abysmal drivel sewed. He said earlier that he doesn't like. I think he said how he feels about this is kind of like how I feel about Big Bang Theory. He said something around that.
Oh, so it's just making fun of.
Yeah, just that kind of like
they
nasty
feel
way
like
of
they're being
treating
made fun
them.
of. Okay.
Yeah, which I understand completely. Makes sense. Gecko Fett 5 out of 7 for me. Fun episode to watch. Dan Ben early on, I'd seen season 6 Stargate movie Children of the Gods season 1. Oh, so he like did it all weird. Interesting, like me. Gecko Fett gave was it also Shadow Play 3 out of 7. Forgot to rate it earlier. Thank you for that earlier rating. Gene Diartis smack in the middle, but I don't like it enough to go up, so going down to a 3.
3.
Dan Ben said 6. Jed Ted says 7. Love when the little guys become heroes. Yeah, me too. Urias Tosh says it's cartoonish in an insulting way. I hate this episode. It makes me want to spit dang man it. I like
They
that.
said, "Dang man it."
Yeah. Tickled me.
Alrighty then.
Yeah, that's what I saw. I think I scrolled up in order to see, and that's what I saw. Barkley was in Stargate as the keeper. Yes, he was.
Yes. You're ruining the garden.
Yuri said no love for Bib Fortuna. Yeah, sorry, no, not my kind of underdog. And that's all we have there. Dan Ben says so I think this is Dan Ben responding to what we said. I like sci-fi for action. This episode to me has action. I also like the comedy and making people laugh. So this is why it got a high 6 from me. Raj Luther said 7 high 6 reasons are action, humor, teamwork, unexperienced people saving the heroes. Some science involved. Would be better if more was shown, and he's just taken it away. So I'm assuming he's redacted it. So he's going to say something else, I'm assuming. And We Died at 72 said, I love stories that involve background characters like Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Yeah, are dead to Hamlet. And Dan Ben says, yeah, I seem to have 2 memories of discovering Stargate. One was watching season 6 on Channel 4 when it was first on, and then Children of the Gods on VHS tape in a shop at a train station. Memories. And Roger said, so continuing on, he said, other Stargate references are fun and would be better if more science was shown. And Roger is now laughing at him for taking away the comment. Yeah.
It's like,
So-
yeah, it's like shaming someone live.
I'm not trying
Well,
to shame
sure.
you. Because he wrote it and then immediately goes message redacted, and I was like, oh, well, okay. Like as I was finishing it, and I was like, oh, I can't read the rest. Urius Tosh said season 6 remains one of my favorite seasons, which is funny because I like this episode, but I don't like season 6 overall that much.
Just never
while,
care.
while
I
they
just
like it.
the
I like
temperature of the
moments of
show was
season
just
6.
changing.
Very
Yeah,
mid.
Abyss is extraordinary. The Changeling is extraordinarily good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I can't imagine
like
the show without
Metamorphosis.
them. Metamorphosis,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
So I
All
wanted to
right.
share a little fun anecdote before I shoot off, which is that so obviously the guy who plays Coombs, how do you say his last name again? Billingsley?
John
Is that it?
Billingsley. Yeah.
John Billingsley.
Uh-huh.
So I have never properly sat down and watched Star Trek Enterprise, but I did something crazy and only Jeff knows, and I'm about to announce it to everybody, which is so I was on like Tumblr, which is the way throwing way back, right? And obviously Connor Trinnet, my guy, and Jolene Blaylock, you know, their characters have like a
Blalock.
heavy ship, Blalock have a ship
Yes,
situation,
That's
right?
true.
And so
Right.
I once spent an entire day, like 12 hours, absorbing all the relationship stuff between their characters. I never watched the show. I went through GIFs, photos, Reddit forums, Star Trek forums, and I absorbed so
Wow.
much of it that I could tell you quite a bit about the plot. But like not much about anything else. But my favorite thing is that Phlox was in like most of the discussions that I was seeing. So I was like, it was just nice falling in love with John Billingsley in a role that he actually had, but never actually watching it. So I want to go back and watch it now, even though I've spoiled it all for myself because of
Do
some
me a
threads.
favor. Go and watch a
Oh, yeah.
season 1 Enterprise episode called Dear Doctor.
Okay.
It is widely considered by Brandon Braga to be the best Star Trek Enterprise episode because it was
Yeah.
only an episode that could have
Ah.
been done in that era before the Prime Directive existed. And John Billingsley is front and center in that episode, and he is excellent. It's good
I've seen some
sci-fi.
stuff of him pop
It's
up,
very
yeah.
good sci-fi. Dear Doctor.
Okay.
Yeah. So
It's
I've
a
never
letter
watched it
to his
properly, but I need to.
colleague.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
The whole episode
Is
is
it
a letter
one
to
where
his
he's
colleague.
just where it's just him speaking over it for most of the episode, or is that another one that I've heard of?
He has 2 or 3 episodes, at least 2, where there's an episode in season 3 where he's alone on the ship. Everyone else is in stasis.
That's what I think I
him
heard
and
of.
Porthos, and he's hallucinating. Oop.
I'll forget
Spoilers.
that.
Anyway, but yeah, go watch Dear Doctor.
Okay.
So
And
you'll
Evie
enjoy it from a
Sparky
sci-fi perspective.
said 7 because I don't know. It just made me laugh often. There
Yep.
we go. And Jed said trip into Pole relationship was quite a journey. Yeah, it was 12 hours of crazy. I went back and Jeff had to sit there and listen to me go on about it for ages while playing video games. He was like, "You've never seen the show?" And I was like, "No, but I can tell you so much." And
No,
he
they
was like,
start off not standing each other, and then
Yeah.
Oh, the
I know.
love.
Yeah.
Don't worry,
hate to
enemies
love.
to lovers. Are you joking? Like that's why I
I
jumped
love
on.
that.
season 3 of
So-
the show is my favorite single season of Star Trek, period, because it's
Oh,
largely one
wow.
arc. You can go and watch the season 2 finale. Earth gets attacked. It was right after 9/11, a year later, and they're like, let's do a big Earth is under threat story for a full season. And that is
Yeah.
from the end of season 2, the finale, to
Two.
through season 3, where they're on
That's
their way to
okay.
find who has attacked us. And I cannot recommend it enough.
Oh.
Yeah. A Night
Yeah.
in Sick Bay is good too, Jed Ted, but it's an Archer Doctor episode. There are some good elements though. So because Archer is stuck in the sick bay because Porthos is sick, his beagle.
Oh.
And so Archer sleeps nearby and has to listen to the Phlox doing all of his evening routine. So it was interesting. Yeah.
Logwatcher just said, side note, David, Nicole, Evie, you guys make watching Stargate so fun in caps. And then said,
Oh,
oh,
thank you.
please, they're just tired of your butt snorkeling.
Who said that?
But snorkeling. Lockwatcher.
Lockwatcher.
Oh, he said all of that? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Which is great.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, very
Alright.
good. All right, guys. Anything else?
And no, I just think we're back.
can't
We're still
think.
back
Back.
next week. We're doing nothing.
We should
for a
be
while.
back in our regular routine, hopefully.
I will be
Yeah.
at the end of a long day after that. Brandy Ledford at 9 Pacific time, and then Michael
Okay.
Shanks at 10 Pacific
Oh, are
time.
you sure you want to do this right
Yeah.
after doing
Yeah.
that? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
entrust you guys will carry most of the show. So
I mean, with all of Evie's facts coming in in a dead episode, I'm like, Evie's got this. I'll respond when I need to.
Peanut
So
gallery
actually-
comments on.
Actually, for Shadow Play, I had the most notes. I had more notes for Shadow
I was
Play
so
than
happy.
the other
I
guys.
could see
had
them
something
coming.
like 20 pages.
I was sitting there waiting, being like, we've got to fill the air. And then I saw Yvie, like, the time had come and Yvie hadn't spoken yet. And I was like, come on, come on, come on, come on.
If you have an
She did it.
easy way of documenting easily, not opening them all, of determining how many words or characters make up the biggest episode, I would really love to know. So
Yeah.
Oh,
so
how many?
This,
What, how many
this
comments?
episode had this number of characters that I created for this document because that's how much, like, your most researched document. So
Oh, okay.
Also, the poll has 16 votes. I just wanted to make sure.
oh
you look at
yes,
that
the
before we
poll.
go,
So
David.
right down the line, 50% of you have the MGM opening logo with the lion,
Oh.
and 50% of you don't. So I'm going to continue at the beginning of this episodes for season 6, possibly into the future,
Okay.
to encourage you all to fast forward past the logo so we're all lined up.
Yeah, that makes
Otherwise,
sense.
you'll be left behind by 5 seconds.
Even though we don't ever leave anyone behind.
But for people in the
Sometimes,
UK
you know,
or
you have to be.
Europe, your thing will go faster anyway if you're watching on DVD. So you're going to be ahead.
All right, gang. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Thank you,
Thanks,
Yvie.
guys.
Thank you, Nicole.
you.
I'm David Reed for
Thanks.
Wormhole Extremists. See you next weekend.